Add the stage. Yo, chat, we sound good? Let's get it rolling. All right. Hold up. Give me a 1 if we sound good. Let's get the audio locked in. If we sound good, if we sound like a robot, let me know. There's a chance I sound like a robot. The thing was a little bit loose, so there's a chance I sound like a robot. Let's knock that out before you even see me. That way it's more mysterious. Okay. Yeah, we should be. Oh, actually, let me update this real quick. I made a thumbnail, so let me put my thumbnail on. Still need video. I got video. I'm putting a thumbnail on right now, Detroit Grit. We're about to get this thing rolling. Easy might be joining us. I see the one. Shout out to Rad in the chat. Chat, Rad's here, man. Rad's here, man. And it's real. Rad's in the chat right now. Say what's up to Rad, man. Show him love. That way he has to come on a show. That way he feels obligated to do it. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make it so he has to feel like he has to come on the show. So you just like blow him up. You know what I mean? Message this guy on X. Do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Do what you got to do. But no, man, we're going to get this thing rolling, man. Let me get this thing off the screen. Video being brought to you by BetUS YouTube 150. That's your promotional code to get 150% deposit match on that first deposit, 125% on your next two. As mentioned, man, we should be getting easy on here at some point, but we got a lot of things to dive into. We got clips. I actually kind of started this on Bleacher Report before I said, oh Lord, I actually started this on Bleacher Report earlier today before we're even getting into it. And you guys know, like I usually drop this on Saturday. Videos like a 45 minutes to an hour. It's a deep dive. This one will be close to that, not the full thing, but it'll be pretty close to that. It's going to be a deep dive. I just won't have as many clips because I have to share them, so it's not as easy. Like I don't have 100 clips at my disposal. I got like 30, but it's fine. We're still going to dive into it. I'm going to give my takes and talk about what I expect from the Bears, but also what we should, because for a lot of us, I know I'm this way. Like I see the Bears, I see them lose these games at the end, but I don't really pay attention outside of that. I know they got changes going on, but really everything outside of that's kind of what the Bears guy tells me. All right, that's interesting. But we're going to figure it out. We're going to figure out what to expect for this game. And, man, this is an interesting opponent. I'm pretty fired up. And we got some stats, man. We got some graphics to show. Think of Meek and Arnold take outside. That's an interesting idea. If I was guessing, I would say no. But it would make sense because Mosley did because Mosley was an outside guy before this upcoming season. Then you added Meek, so Meek kicked in. But I wouldn't be opposed to it. My guess will be that Amik stays in the slot. I think Amik's gotten to a really good spot playing in the slot for us. He's added a ton of versatility that like goes completely under the radar. His movement is huge for this defense. And Mosley, I'm not saying Mosley can't do that, and maybe they don't even need him to do that, so they could kick him to, you know what I mean? They could kick him in the slot and just ask him to do it. But my assumption is where we're at in the season, because of the coverage versatility that they actually have with Amik in the slot, that they just leave him there. And then the rotation comes into play this week where we see Vildor and potentially Mosley rotate at that position. I don't think Dorsey will rotate in. I think we'll see Vildor rotate in on the outside, and we'll just see what it looks like. But I assume Vildor is going to come in as that guy. We'll start with that though. We will start with the injury report before we get to this kind of breakdown. Mosley hasn't played close to 3 years. We don't know what he is, right? That's a good point. But we do know what he was, and what he was a heck of a cornerback. So yeah, again, I assume he'll come in as your backup. He'll rotate at some snaps in this game, kind of like what he was going to do against Carolina, and then unfortunately he got injured in that game again. So I assume he's going to kind of come in with the same type of plan like he did a year or two ago. Was that a year? I think that was last year. Yeah, that was last year, what he did last year. Now, the injury report is out, so we'll touch on this just to kind of lay everything out here. Bam. Hold up, what am I showing on my screen? Sorry, I got so many screens. Oh, okay, no, this is right. Yeah, injury report's out, man. Right here it is. Questionables for David and St. Brown. Score prediction. Hey, we got to wait till the end, Don. We got to wait till the end. I'm going to give a score prediction, but we're going to save that for the end. I don't want to just like give that away right away. That's the fun. The score's at the end, but let me know your score prediction. Big one, St. Brown, Monty. I kind of expect both of these guys to play, to be honest with you. I expect both of these guys are going to be good to go. St. Brown returned limited practice yesterday. The big one, of course, is is Decker out for this game. This one's always hard to project. Come on, Don, wait for it. Nah, it's cool. I get it, but we going to save it. But I think when you when you come in without Decker, it's hard to project what that's actually going to turn into. Skipper's going to start in the spot. We lose so much in the run game, especially against this team. And then also on the flip side, pass protection, we know we lose a lot there too. And the Bears are not a heavy blitzing team. Very similar to the last two teams that we played. They don't blitz a lot, so they're going to rely on the front four a ton. And interestingly enough, because they rely on the front four like they do, it's probably going to be a little more difficult to find like 3rd and 7 runs. We may have to be a little bit more pass heavy in those spots. I think they kind of force you into that by not giving you open run lanes. So yeah, not having Deckers really stinks for this matchup. Then also not having Carlton, as we know, which is to me going to lead to, like I said, Terry, I'm probably starting on the outside opposite of Manuel Mosley / Vildor, but I think Vildor will be the one. I think Tim Patrick is going to shine. I think Tim Patrick is a good spot for this game. I think his run after catch opportunity is going to be there. The zone windows could also open up for that spot too. So that's interesting. They're bad at run blocking. I think one thing that they've had to go through, and we're going to get to clips here in a sec. One thing is they've went through injuries, so they've had that issue. They've also had to replace their right guard. Pryor is that right guard now, and I actually think he's helped them a ton. The guy's an absolute mammoth. I mean, he's 6'7", 330 pounds. Their right guard is massive. And I think what they've found is they found like how they like to run in terms of the right side is usually going to be more of your outside runs. Your left side is a little bit more downhill. It's inside runs. And when they're healthy and they have Tevin Jenkins at left guard, I think they're much better than like we saw against Green Bay when they had the backup in at left guard. Being healthier, their offensive line looks better. But I think right now they're just kind of like, you know what they are. Plus, I don't think Swift is the best in terms of like making something that's not there all the time. I think a lot of times if it's not there, there's just nothing there, especially when he's running some more of the inside runs. But as we know, as he gets rolling and he has that burst, he could just, bam, he could take off on guys. That being said, though, I don't think Swift's been the best either at times either. I don't think he's taken advantage of everything that's actually been out there. Vildor's a liability. I don't think he'll be a liability in this game. I think Vildor in this, and again, I think he'll rotate with Mosley, so I think slowly that'll kind of work in, hopefully, as long as Mosley stays good. I think this is one of those games where, and we'll talk about it, like they have a ton of weapons on paper, but I think based on how they play offensively, it's going to be more about like how the Lions actually approach it schematically versus maybe just straight like getting that one-on-one. I could be wrong, especially on 3rd down, because we typically play man there, especially on 3rd down. Maybe that's something that they search out and just see if like we can go at that left and right. But I think because of the way that they actually play offensively, I don't think he'll be like torched in this game. I hope I'm right about that. I could be wrong, but I don't think that'll be the case in this game because of how they play offensively. I don't think that's who they'll be. Here's the interesting thing I'm going to lay out there as we get into this. This offense, because we have a change, right? We have a new offensive coordinator, Thomas Brown. The offense makes me think. I'm going to give y'all something to think about. Hopefully I didn't just freeze there. Did I just freeze? Did I freeze or my camera freeze? Hold up. Chat. This is good suspense. Nobody knows where I'm going with this. Oh, okay, check. Give me 1 sec. I gotta switch. Man. Hold up. I gotta switch my camera. We gotta look goofy. Hey, we gotta do what we gotta do. We're gonna look goofy, but it's fine. I gotta switch the camera, dog. My goodness, man. The thing's dead. It's dead, bro. That's on me. Too many shows today. You know what I'm saying? Hey, chat, this is my 4th show today. Camera died. You know what I mean? Camera died, bro. It's all right. You know, it's okay. We're live. It's fine. We're just going to have to go to the goofy camera. This is what happens when you do 4 shows, man. It's the problem that you run into. But as I get this going, we're just going to switch over to that. Looking crazy. Actually, the background don't look bad, though, y'all. You see we're doing a little bit of work. All right, it froze now. Now it legitimately froze. That's not great. Okay, hold up. Why'd they do me like that? Why'd they do me like that? I don't... All right, hold up. Okay. All right. Mike. All right. Hopefully I'm not sounding like a robot. We're going to get through this. All right. Trials and tribulation. Do we sound good? I want to make sure we sound good. But by the way, we working on the background a little bit. This thing's probably going to be completely redone here soon, so keep an eye on that. I'm just letting you know, okay? We are completely redoing this thing. We got some new stuff coming, but we're putting it together. Now you get to see the interception from Iffy, which won us the division. That's always good vibes. It's looking good. It's looking good. All right, but here's the thing. This offense, I'm going to give you guys something to think about. If you want like a perspective before we get into this. To me, this offense makes me think of the old Rams when Jared Goff was there, the early Rams. I'm talking like 2017, 18, 19, more like 2019 maybe when he was struggling, but the earlier Rams when Jared Goff was there, based on how they have found reads for Caleb Williams. I think that's what we started to see. Now, obviously, Thomas Brown has a connection. He was there, and he wasn't calling plays there, but he was there. I think that's what we're starting to see from this offense in terms of how they're making reads a little bit more digestible. Don't play with me like that because now I'm going to think it's messed up. But I think they're making reads much more digestible for Caleb Williams because of the way that they're setting things schematically, kind of like they did with Goff. I think they're taking less on his plate. They're making him read a little bit less in terms of like full field progressions. And it's a little bit more like, here's the route combination. Do you like it? No? Great. Here's your check down. And I think it's a lot of that. Now that sounds pretty basic, but I think even you see it in the way they're setting check downs. They're utilizing running back screens with like an extra tight end to block. They'll use backside whip routes to just set it up. It's like either fire it or don't. And we're seeing it out from Caleb is he's making some ridiculous throws where he's hitting insane tight windows that are first pick overall windows. But the flip side is he's also will have some throws where you're like, okay, that wasn't open, yet he's through it. And that's where I think the key has been in terms of like kind of Caleb coming to life over the last few weeks. And then obviously as soon as the play breaks down, he's pretty special. Now he's much different than dealing with Justin Fields. Obviously he could take off his run. And that shows up specifically on third down. He could show up and run. He could take off and run because teams will play man, and that's where he kind of, does his work. But he's not like Fields in the sense of the kind of designed runs. They've actually instead kind of reverted to more so of like, let's get the receivers involved in the run game. Let's have extensions of the run game through screens, RPOs, jet touch pass. We've seen a lot more of that become kind of their answer to like extending the run game. And then on top of that, they've also been pretty disciplined. Like, we're running the football. It's going to work. You know what I mean? At some point, this is going to work. We're going to keep trying. So that's what this has kind of turned into. So no Carlton is going to hurt. I agree. But I think, honestly, the big matchup there will be who's in the slot a lot of times because Keenan Allen is their go-to on this offense. That doesn't mean they don't have other guys. And again, if they get one-on-one, he's going to take the shot regardless of who's covering him. Even if you're all over him, you're not really going to spook him away from it. But the big thing there is Keenan Allen on must-have-it downs is their go-to. He's their go-to against man coverage in those downs. So who's ever getting that matchup, which a lot of times will probably be Amik Robertson playing in the slot, that'll be actually, to me, the matchup to circle in those spots. Now, with that, let's get into it, man. I got two pretty large graphics that will show, but I also have just straight clips. And we're going to show clips from their last two games, both divisional opponents, to show you what it's going to look like. Roma Dunze going to be in the slot. Yeah, Roma Dunze, to me, they haven't found a great connection there so far this season. And again, Keenan is the guy in those spots, and I assume Meek's probably going to be following around in this game without Carlton Davis. I assume he's going to be following around. I'll show y'all what I'm talking about with this offense. This is not a full progression type of offense from what I've seen. This is much more of a, like, here's a concept, throw it, or you're going to kind of go to our check down. So again, I'm not as concerned about, I think, the matchups. I don't think it'll be one of those things. I'm more so concerned about, like, hey, how do we actually plan to attack this team coverage-wise? And specifically, are we getting gashed on the ground? Because this is one of those games where it's like, if you can't stop the run, you're going to be in some trouble in this game, specifically if you can't stop it with two deep safeties because, a lot of teams don't play your kind of straight cover two. Green Bay played some straight cover two against this team, specifically to play them in coverage, down a distance, situational speaking, to kind of take away a lot of their play action boots and rollouts and shot plays, and then rely on their ability to stop the run outside of that because so far this season, they've been below average in that spot. And DJ Moore, who's fantastic, I don't think he gets involved nearly enough in the pass game. DJ Moore has been such a threat as a runner. He has been huge in their screen game, huge in their RPO game, huge in their jet runs. He has been a much more diverse threat that I don't think it's utilized maybe even enough in a straight pass game. But to me, it's more so about what he actually does when he's on the move. That's where it's been huge. Same thing with Rome. Both of those guys have become so much on the move recently that they give you some vibes almost of what the Colts were doing when they were getting their guys on the move. So let's go. I'm going to show their last two games. We're going to show some clips, and then I'll roll into these graphics to kind of talk about what do I expect to see, and then what you should what I expect to see from them, and then I think how the Lions may plan to kind of stop this team. And we're going to show both sides of the ball. I think Amik is much better matchup on Moore. I don't think you'll see that very often just because Moore will be on the outside, but it'll rotate. I don't think you'll see that a ton. Easy's in the building, though. Before we get to this is a good timing. Easy, how you doing, man? You look good, man. How you doing?
Thanks, man. I appreciate you. I'm doing right. I'm ready to talk some Lions.
I'm fired up, man. I'm ready. Hey. Easy, you can already see, bro. We got a ridiculous amount of clips here. Easy. So I was gonna say this. Let's just do this real quick because I know you've probably already looked at this. The injury report for both sides. Like, What's the takeaway for you on both sides? What should we be looking for there?
Kind of what we expected. To be honest with you, I didn't know what to expect for the Bears side of things, but I see they're dealing with a lot of nothing. So they're gonna need everything they got though to come away with this one in Ford Field and Detroit Lions home territory. Boys, am I right? But no, it sucks. We're missing Taylor Decker and Carlton Davis. I think Carlton Davis has been phenomenal this year. Obviously, Taylor Decker was our best graded lineman last week for offensively too. So it's up against it, man. But this team is built with one thing in mind, and it's the Super Bowl. So I don't think they'll be distracted by any of those things, any type of injuries. But our defensively don't hurt us as much as missing Taylor Decker in my mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mrs. Decker's gonna stink, man. And then for that, like, if you had to explain, like, what do you think the impact is? Like, how does that change the game? How do you think that would change the game?
Personally, I think you just gotta get the ball a lot quicker. I run the ball for damn sure. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know if it's you and I that were talking about this. We got Dan Skipper, who's like 6'7", freaking 280 some pounds. Let him use what he's best at. You know what I'm saying? Let him use that and run the ball. Luckily enough, too, Chicago Bears run defense hasn't been great this year, so that may be easier to keep that within the flow of the game. But yeah, for me, run the ball. It's almost like that answer every single week for this offense. And to be fair, Jared Goff kind of needs that, and he's also like one of the best play action quarterbacks too. So it goes hand in hand. But yeah, I think with Dan Skipper out there, I like to run the ball a lot more than I would pass it.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I was actually, this is the biggest surprise to me. I'll present it. This is the biggest surprise to me when I was looking at this Bears team was where their run defense ranks out. It was shocking.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they're this bad against the run, and it shows up. Like it's not just, it shows up when you watch. Like, hey, they're kind of rough against the run. Easy, man. One of the biggest things for me that. And we've talked about this specifically in the past because we talked about their pass defense. We'll get to that, like how it's given us problems. But the linebacker play, like they usually have big time. I mean, Edmonds and TJ Edwards are holding it down. But I think that their play against the run has almost felt like a trickle-down effect of the defensive line, which I don't think has been fantastic against the run whatsoever. And it's like when you watch them, I didn't feel like their linebackers were all over the place. I mean, I know you were watching back the Lions playing the Bears last season. Like, did it look different than that? Because to me, like, I just didn't feel their linebackers had much of an impact on the run from the games that I went through so far from this season. Because I know their linebackers were a big story of this defense in the past.
Yeah, I mean, and to be fair, they have a different defensive coordinator too. The guy they had last year, I caught up in some stuff where they're rating Hallis Hall in his home computer. Don't know what he was doing. No updates on that. But it's a different defensive coordinator. You'd think they would at least have, I guess, I don't know, kept the recipe from whatever he was doing with that run defense. Because like the past 2 years, if I'm not mistaken, they're ranked top 5, top 3, along there up there with us. So it has blown my mind. And yeah, you would think too with Tremaine Edmonds, as much money as they're paying him, TJ Edwards, they also brought in a free agency that like those guys would be difference makers regardless. But no, it hasn't been the case. Weird left too. They could have drafted Jalen Carter, but they decided to trade back for a 4th round pick, and then they drafted a punter with that one.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even know that. No,
they still took Ron Dexter in that draft too, so they clearly wanted a defensive tackle. Just it's weird. Bears.
Dexter's a good player. Dexter's a good player. Not Jalen Carter. He's a good player. Man,
he is a monster,
bro. And every time I watch Philly, I think the same thing. I'm like, man, that dude's a dog. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I'm glad we got what we got, but I like still though, that dude's a dog, bro.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
It's crazy because like I'm like you. I'm glad with what we got. I'm happy with what we got, but I always wonder like. Can you imagine him and Hutch on the same side of the defensive line? Like, what are you doing? As like, there was nothing you could have done.
Yeah,
whatever. Didn't happen. Wasn't meant to be.
No, it's real though.
We're killing it.
And then they showed the most recent pressure stats. I mean, depending on who you're looking at, Pressure's up 36% now versus 30 when Hutch was here. But
Yeah,
man, it's just different because now you're
like
focusing on
blitz.
that. But
Yeah,
Za'Darius has added so much, man. I mean, quick takes on Za'Darius, man. I mean, like,
dude,
bro,
dude.
he's been pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know if it was you who brought it up on a film thing or what, but we were talking at someone, some content creator or analyst was talking about how that he's used in third downs. This is before he even played a snap for us, and they had him in the interior. It might have been you. I don't remember, but they showed him in the Packers uniform, and on the third down, third and long pass situations, he stands up and he just rushes through the interior, and he just destroys guards. One thing I noticed too, his hands, dude. I saw him last week, maybe it was the week before. I think it was a week before. Literally, just take a guard and like turn him around, just like he was a child or something like that. Like his hands are so damn strong, and he's still quick off the ball. I love it. He's been a pleasant surprise. I didn't think he was gonna be as good as we've gotten so far.
Yeah, no, he's been a dog, and especially in a game like this, man, with like
Yes, I was
their
just getting
interior.
to that.
Like, yeah, I mean, you can go into it because Cole Michelle in that center, I think, has been super shaky this year. At left guard, Tevin Jenkins has actually been pretty nice when he's in there. But then at right guard, they got Pryor now starting. This dude's absolutely massive. But I just look at that and I'm like, that's not good for them. That's just not a good matchup. I mean, this is one of those where I don't know how much the Lions will actually blitz, but knowing Glenn, he usually does. So I should just guess that he's going to blitz a lot. But even if they don't, still feel like him just being in the interior. Like if you get this team in 3rd and 9, and it's a huge threat that Caleb can take off, but you should.
Yeah.
I think Zarius going to be spilling this dude fast because I just don't think they have the interior bodies to match. And every time someone stunts them, it feels like they have problems.
Yeah, they allow the ninth most interior pressures in the league, and with Lee McNeil and Za'Darius, like it's gonna be a problem for them if they get in those passing situations.
Where'd you get that stat from? Easy, you made that up?
I just made it up. Easyff.com. Make sure you guys subscribe. $50 a month. It's just a bunch of feet pictures.
Just
but,
make it sense.
I dress my feet up like characters from Disney movies. It's $50 a month.
You get lion stats and you get that. That's a crazy. Hey, that might be worth the subscription, to be honest, though. You know what I mean?
My
Like,
big toe as Woody from Toy Story.
oh, that's crazy.
He's just giving you NFL stats.
All right, chat. So if you want that, man, link in the description, bro. We. All right, I don't know where we're going. All right, I don't want to go like right to the notes and crap because that's kind of boring. But I want to show some plays, man. Like just some of the key plays, like good and bad, just things that I'm expecting. Like and while I'm showing these, man, like defensively from Chicago, how do you feel about us being able to run the football in this game? Like, are you? I know you coming in and say we're gonna run it. You think we're gonna run well, and Monty's gonna cook? Is that the kind of assumption?
So Monty with the shoulder injury, I know they're gonna give him every opportunity to. And I know he could have came back last week and Dan held him out. I don't want him to get hurt because we have an even bigger divisional game next week. You know what I'm saying? But it's his revenge game. So, but I think in Monty's situations, you're going to see him. But I think last week, Jameer kind of showed you he could be a feature back like on his own. And I think the way this run defense is, I feel like Aaron Jones had like 100 something last week. Like, I think they're more prone to get got by a guy like Jameer versus Monty. All due respect to Monty, I love Dave Montgomery. And in the red zone, let's run them. But I think the scat backs, the speedy backs is who they struggle against the most.
Yeah, no, I like that point, and I was just talking to Rad before I got on here, and I was like, it feels like we know these are two dudes, but it feels like Gibbs is like 1A right now. Like after last week on Indy, I thought it was one of his best games. Like this dude, it's just like he's almost like it feels like he's coming into form. Like this is what he's capable of, and when he's more detailed as a runner rather than just being like a freaky athlete, it's like this dude is special, man. Like, and now we're using him in every package. It feels like Monty's outstanding, and this is the great game for him, against the Bears. Mm-hmm. But like, yeah, Gibbs. I think going forward it's gonna be a lot of this where it's like there isn't a game that Gibbs can't cook. You know what I mean? Because he's so versatile at this point.
Yeah, it's crazy to see like he's top 5 right now in rushing yards, and he's splitting snaps with David Montgomery. Like. That's insane. Yeah. I was watching Lions versus Bears Thanksgiving like 1990 something last night with Barry Sanders. And dude, I know people I know it's crazy to say, but like, he reminds me a little bit, just the speed. Just when he gets in the outside, if you give him like a little space, like how Gibbs is just gone. Like that's what I was watching last night with Barry. Just saying.
So I didn't see Barry live. Did you watch Barry when you were growing up, or was that
No, I
before
was
you?
too little. And even if I did, I was too young to remember. I wasn't interested.
So that means what we're saying is legit. You're saying he's better than Barry Sanders?
No, okay, relax. I'm
No,
not
I'm
saying
just
that.
asking a question. I didn't say you
No,
say
nope.
it.
I'm not. Not saying that.
But he's
I'm just
he's
saying he
fit.
reminds us of speed. When Barry would get outside, just from when I was watching last night, he was gone. It reminds me of like the Vikings run we saw this year, the Titans run we saw this year. He just boop boop, like
That's
the sound
tough.
effects there. Boop boop.
Yeah, I see what you're doing. What did Barry sound like when he was doing it?
Because like the pads is 90s, you know what I'm saying?
A little
The pads are a
heavier.
little, a little shiftier,
They
a
weren't
little
even cut.
looser.
They were a little bit longer.
Yeah, so it's like, you know,
Ooh. I think Gibbs is better
bad
based on
noise.
that. Based on what
Yeah.
you just said, it sounds like Gibbs is a better running back. Like, let's just be real. You know what I mean?
Different eras. Different
We could
eras.
ask Herman. Herman knows.
I'm not ever gonna ask him that question. I'll never ask him that one.
Jeff, what do we think, man? I don't know.
Make it a
Well, I
smack
got.
in the face.
Yo, this is weird though. I don't like how I'm like really big in the corner. I just want to show some of their run defense first, just to kind of expand on you were just saying about their run defense, because like there's a lot of rotation with this run defense, man. Like on the interior, there's a lot of different pieces. But like this, is what I was saying, like the numbers are rough, and immediately I'm like, okay, 130 yards per game, and it's not the worst in football, but it's like maybe just is because they're playing from behind, like, and it's just teams are running the football, and then
That's a good
right,
point.
that's
fair.
that's immediately what hits my mind. It's like you're playing from behind, teams are going to run all over you, and those numbers are going to pile up. But then you start watching, you're like, oh no, this is kind of real. Now the Dan Skipper thing I think is huge for this, because as soon as Decker's back, like someone pointed out in the chat, like Houston, it was like, oh, we can't really run the football. And then all of a sudden, as soon as he comes back, we run the football, and Decker has meant so much to us in the run game. But I think we're seeing it even now with the backers at this point, where you can really find success. You can get up to these guys at the second level. And, before I went into this game, I just assumed, like, hey, they got big-time backer play, and it's going to be hard to run the football on this team. So seeing the numbers kind of shocked me. And then you see it tag along with the defensive line, and it's like, okay, this is real. You can get up to their second level. And the two run schemes that I like that I'll point out here are, I like getting wide, to what you were saying with Gibbs. I love the stretch runs. You know what I mean? I think that's where Gibbs is taking off to me. Like it just his pacing is better. It doesn't feel like he's rushing things. He's kind of letting it happen, then he just takes off on guys and no one can keep up with him. And I think it's also like the old school, man. It's just the power runs. We started doing that last week too. It's like, hey, just down block these big dudes, pull an offensive lineman off it, and I mean you can see it on all these plays. These are different examples of it, but you can see it. And a lot of times they're defensive backs that come in with the run support.
Yeah,
that's helping them a ton. Something you can say, I didn't want to cut you off.
No, I'm not. I was saying anything. I was just saying, yeah, I was agreeing with you. I'm just looking at these runs.
I mean, if you're not,
I'm
you can
picturing
leave.
Jameer in these situations. He might be,
No, you're right, man. No, so this is what I was talking about, bro. This is the stretch run right here, and this is what I'm saying. And they've had like their three technique has kind of moved in and out. What is dude's name? He'll be on the other page. I can't remember dude's name. 93. Whoever that guy is, Austin Booker. I know me and you were both fans of him. I don't think he's handled the run extremely well this season, but he's still a dog. But even like on this, man, just look at the backside here. You know what I mean? Look at the nose tackle. And this is how they play it, right? The strong side, they shift at the snap. So it's like you can get a clear, like if I want to go to their three technique, or I want to go to their one technique because my run works better off this scheme, you can do that because the D line is going to shift with the strength of the formation. Not every team does that. They do that. So you can get Dexter, their nose tackle, to go play outside your guard if you want to. You know what I mean? You can just shift your strength of formation and get them to shift. You can see like here on the backside. Now this was different because they had Williams in there and he was struggling, but we've seen it with the rotation all year. Like they've struggled dealing with guys getting up to the second level on them. And I think that's why we're seeing the run game like it is. So those are the two run schemes. Like this concerns me. I'm gonna be honest. This concerns me. Like I hear what you're saying, but the idea of like if let's say I run a stretch run, right? I'm trying to get wide. He's his own blocker. He's out in front. I don't trust Skipper to stay in front of somebody. I'm just be honest. I think someone's going to cross his face and it's going to push him back inside immediately.
But you have the other side of Skipper, right? I mean, they got this Penei Sewell guy. He's pretty good. Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, hey, if I'm going behind Skipper, to what you were saying, I'm letting that dude down block and I'm coming right off him. You know what I mean? I don't want you working in space. I want you just pinning this dude down and let us work off it. Then we'll let you run on the backside and go behind that guy, Penei Sewell, because Penei Sewell's going to handle all these edge rushers. Like it's been they brought in Darrell Taylor, who never played the run with Seattle. He doesn't play the run there either. So that's still an issue. Montez Sweat, like I don't feel like they're getting big time impact either from their edge rushers against the run. So I'm with you, man. You lean behind Sewell in that spot.
Yeah, I like we'll run the football this game. That's dominate both sides of the trenches this game. This is what we need to do.
And now, easy. And by the way, easy. Like whenever you got a dip. That's cool. I'm just saying. I don't know how long this is gonna be. I got a lot of plays. But I wanted to ask you though. So you did go back and watch it. I don't know how much you watched, but you were like, hey, did they play single high coverage? Like, did you notice them playing a lot of single high coverage? Like, was there anything that you took?
No, there wasn't a lot of single high for when I was watching. Okay. I think I was texting you. I think I'm looking at cover 3 right now.
yeah, you did.
You did. A lot of cover 2 as well.
Bro, okay, so and I think this year, you're going to see that too, is like from what I went through, a lot of cover 3 and cover 4. That's the mix, right? So it's 2 deep and then 1 deep. But like here, cover 3, I still think it's kind of who they are a little bit, and especially against us. Like there was I don't remember who, one of our recent games, there was a team that we were playing, and it was like, who was it? I think it was Jackson. Yeah, it was Jacksonville. Jacksonville doesn't play a lot of that. But I felt like in that game, Jacksonville was kind of forced to, because like, oh, we can't stop the run at all. like we got to put somebody down there. Like that Jacksonville game was easy. It was one of the most disrespectful things I've ever seen, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. We absolutely destroyed that team up front. I mean, they just had zero answers to stop the run, and it got to the point where it felt like, okay, we don't care what we do in the back. We have to put a safety in there. And it was like almost like they kind of got out of who they are. Now, Chicago feels a little more natural. And here's the thing I'll point out for everybody watch. Here's the thing I point out. When they play cover 3, because that's like I still think it's kind of their base on first down, they don't have their safeties play the hook curl zones. They have them play the flats all the time. And I think it gives them a lot more speed, because if you watch their backers, they like live on the hash marks, man. They play a little bit tighter. And I think that makes it so the windows are like right here between the numbers. And it's hard to hit those throws without somebody jumping it. Because then all of a sudden you got Kyler Gordon there, and this dude Kyler Gordon is ridiculous. I mean, that's one of my favorite players in football, man. That dude jumps over everything. And, their linebackers, because they're just kind of sitting down in the middle and plugging everything, it's hard to hit that shot. So, to me, one thing for sure, I think you have to, if you're going to run a check down out of these, bro, you got to have your check down right in the middle. You know what I mean? You got to make these linebackers have to kind of play the levels of it, because if you're making them, if you're putting into the flat and you're trusting your running back to go get open on the safety, or like I can check it down to him, they kind of clog those up, because these guys are just flying around, and this will be a good example. So here, cover 3, and they don't blitz much. They don't blitz, it's below average blitzing, but they still create some pressure. And I think, honestly, a lot of that's through coverage. You see plays like this, and it's not covered up bad on the outside, but another note personnel-wise, easy. I don't know, like, where are you at on Jalen Johnson, their cornerback? I know he got the big deal. He was kind of a big name for us at one point, because I don't think, like, he's a good corner, no doubt.
Yeah.
But I think this year, I don't know if it's a this year thing or not, but like he's always been kind of like a stocky type of big corner, right? That'll hit guys, and he's really good at the catch point, but he feels like he's struggling to kind of stick with guys. And one of the most exciting things, one of the matchups I'm most excited for is Jameson getting matched up with him. Like, if Saint does, I think there could be wins there. But it's Jameson on Jalen Johnson. I'm fired up, because it feels like it's J-Mo's time. It's like it's your turn. You know what I mean? You're the guy on the outside. When you're one-on-one, in the past, we didn't know who that guy was. And sometimes it was Josh, and he would kind of, but I think this year we're seeing like, no, it's your turn, Jameson. You got to be the guy for us going forward. And I think this is one of those games where it could be like a coming out party, like, yo, this dude can't hold me. You know what I mean? I feel like that's what we might be in store for a few times in this game. Where are you at with that?
I'm with you on the Jameson Williams stuff. I remember last year, I don't remember who was on specifically, but just to come back in that game in the fourth quarter, JMO had a big JG. I always talk about his arms. He's not one of the better arms going deep, but he connected with JMO deep to put us, keep us in that game in that fourth quarter. But I'm with you. I think this would be a JMO game, because if Jalen Johnson is going to be on Amon-Ra, I think he can, like, they're built for each other. At least he's built to like cover like a guy like Amon-Ra. I don't know that he's built to cover like a Jameson Williams. And then Jameson Williams too, another thing too, like those in-breaking routes in the middle of the field. No Jaquan Brisker right there. He can take him. So he's gonna get a little bit of yak. It's just, can Dan Skipper keep JG clean enough for him to get that ball off? And it's such a timing route too that there could be a little bit of pressure. JG's gonna throw the ball where JMO was supposed to be, and they finally got that chemistry now too. But like those in-breaking routes for JMO have been money in the interior of the field specifically, and I think we can get them there. Yeah,
and then to just extend on that point, like it's the same kind of idea. Is like, to me, that's why, because like you'll see on a play like this, they don't have anything on the outside. And you can see how their linebackers, man, they're clogging in the middle, right? Like, then they're deep. Like, this is why you have to have something here, because if it's out here, you're never making these guys respect it. So if you want J-Mo, because I'm with you, like Johnson's not gonna be able to stick with him. You can already see he's not. I don't think he's gonna be able to stick with him. But the problem is their linebackers are gonna help him so much that then they're swinging it out. So, and I think this play gives you an example. Yeah, like if you have him
birds like that too. Yeah, dude.
Look at this. Like if you have the running back and he goes to the running back here, but like then they start playing at different levels, and now you can see where it opens up. Like right here, bro, you can see it wide open on the play. Like, and this is kind of the zone that they're going to give you. You can see how aggressively they're taking on the flats. And I think this is where Tampa gave us a problem too, because Tampa was thinking the same way. Like, this is a hard place to throw the football, especially if you got to throw it back, to the field or something. So it's like, we're going to take that away. We're going to put speed out here, and we're going to clog the heck out of the middle. So like, you have to find a way, and Goff will do this. He'll throw it if it's there. You just got to make him respect this. And this always makes me feel good, Easy, because it's like, Goff, we know Goff will throw this pass all day. He'll check that thing down all day long. So he has no issue with that. And that makes you feel good about it. All right. I don't want to stay with that because that's going to the Bears offense. I want to stay with the Bears defense for a second. Okay. Slow down. Am I talking too fast? I apologize, Chad. My bad. Be like, man, fire it up.
Who's just
fired up, man?
Oh.
This is a big game.
He's just trolling you. He's messing with you.
Yeah, he's a hater. It's all good. Jay Cruz, and calm down. All right. You tell me I was forward. Yeah, you a little late, Antonio, but it's all good, man. Was there anything on the Bears injury report though? Like, I know you said there was a whole lot of nothing, but I honestly didn't.
No, literally like nothing. The guys hurt for them were. I'll pull it up right now. Hold on. I would make a joke that would be funny to make, but it's 2024 and it wouldn't be funny to make. So, actually, who's Ryan Bates to them? Offensive lineman. Is he a starter though?
Yeah. No. Bates isn't a starter.
Okay, I didn't think he was. He's out. And then Elijah Hicks,
safety. Out. Yeah, and that's where we're seeing. That's where we're seeing Jonathan Owens at safety, who was a Packer. So there's like now Jonathan Owens. And here's the thing with our safeties too, and this is and you'll start to see on some of these plays. Like here's Owen. They're super aggressive against the run. And I think they get there with teams that are gashing them. Like they start to get there. So you can actually see by just looking at the safeties and stuff, because a lot of these plays, you can't even see the safeties. You'll be able to see like with the safeties where it's like, you can see that they're becoming the factor against the run. Like they're trying to shut this thing down. So you can see like that could be open if we can get them to really respect it. And honestly, like most games I like this, and we see the Lions do this a lot, but the fullback, I love it. With Skipper, I mean, Jamarco Jones, maybe we use him as extra offensive lineman, but I like multiple tight ends because I'm here with it easy. They go out there and they don't, like, if I put two tight ends on the field, Chicago will not absolutely match that. They won't say, okay, we have to have three linebackers to deal with that. They won't do that. Yeah, they'll play nickel. They'll be like, all right, whatever. We're going to keep Kyler Gordon in there. And Gordon's great against the run, but if I'm the Lions, I'm like, all right, we're going to force you out of that. Or you're going to have to just live with Kyler Gordon playing that role, and we'll just see how you react to it.
Like, you see you're getting killed in the run all year, and you see 12 personnel, you just still trot out a corner. It's weird to me.
Yeah, and I it feels like they do it kind of like based on the situation of the game, and then other times, like, it's easy to get them on the opposite side. There was a touchdown they gave it to Minnesota where Minnesota had like the three, and Minnesota comes out there with one tight end. They got three receivers, and Chicago goes out there with all these linebackers, and they got linebackers covering receivers. They're like, this isn't gonna work, and it didn't. He just ran across the field and scored a touchdown, and I feel like it feels like they're trying to do it based on the situation. Like, nah, Gordon's in there to stop the run, and it's like, all right, you could trust that, and I like Gordon too, but if I'm the offense, I'm saying I'm leaning completely into that. Like, all right, fine. Shows that you're going to stop the run with that defensive back on the field, or put that extra linebacker out there, Sanborn. Like in this case, they have it, because now all of a sudden we got our one-on-ones, and that's where J-Mo's going to take off. J-Mo's time to take off. Easy. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like it's about that time. But you'll see it, like even plays like this, man. And you can see, now here's the other thing I'd point out too, though, because like with their run defense, they slant gaps a ton. So this is the issue they create, is it's not like it's straightforward. So that's why it's like, man, if you're going to down block playoff, that's cool. But they slant kind of everything up front. So like this, they kind of lag behind their gaps a ton. So it's like, as long as you can, and this is why I think they struggle to get their linebackers to the ball, because as long as you're not allowing this guy that's trying to leg to get up there and push your running back backwards, as long as you can get some contact on him, then all of a sudden their linebackers have to work over a gap. Because now it's like, I'm already falling behind.
What's the benefit of doing that?
Penetration, man. Penetration. Because like if I'm a D lineman and it's like, hey, I can guess if he's trying to work in front of me, he's trying to make me run. Instead of trying to run with him, I'm just gonna go upfield because they can't block me if I go upfield. He's running past me. I'm gonna get upfield. I'm gonna create a negative. But if I'm on offense, I'm like, as long as I can keep him from getting to my back, my linebackers are going to play a lot slower because now all of a sudden they got to go on top of everything. And now they got to work in front of somebody. So like back to that point of like the stretch runs, making them get wide. I love it because like plays like this, like now you're asking, because like here, he legs behind. So now you're asking a linebacker to try to work back over top. And I think that opens opportunity for you to go connect with him. In this case, if the safety's not cheating down there, you're getting up to their backers 5 yards down the field. And I think that's the kind of thing you just have to get him to that point where because this is the benefit right here. His next play is where it's the benefit. This is where they get you into trouble because if you don't get hands on him, you know what I mean? Now all of a sudden, you got that. So it's like now it's like it makes you think that maybe pulling a lineman and going power will be a little bit more reliable. But again, bro, you can get up to these dudes because of how they're playing it. And look at this. I mean, this is blocked up beautifully. You got a lineman running with a linebacker. Like this is there. The opportunity's there. Montior gives. We're seeing it. You can get up to these dudes and you can move them, and then all of a sudden you're running off it. I think, these are just kind of the same examples over and over. But I would also say too is like to me their focus, two guys, because this isn't a to me easy like. Is there anybody on that defense in the front seven? I would say that you're kind of like maybe circle that guy. I'm a little concerned about that dude. Or anybody on defense in general.
Tremaine Edmonds, and Sweat.
Right.
Sweat, I think Tremaine Edmonds can be dangerous just because we like to eat in the middle of the field. He eats in the middle of the field as well.
He does eat there, bro. You made a play on Jefferson last week. I'm like, I shouldn't be able to do that. He does though. He did. No, yeah, they tried to throw like an in route right behind him. And bro, it was nasty because you know how quarterbacks do. They're like, all right, I'm just going to keep looking left and I'm going to throw it and he'll move. This dude didn't move at all. He just stood right there looking at him. He threw it right there. And bro, I thought he was going to pick it off. It was crazy. Edmonds the dog. And
he's a dog with Buffalo too. He's super athletic too.
Super athletic, and that's why, and I think that's why they trust him to get back over gaps because they already know, like, oh, we got some athletes there. But I don't know if I look at our line, we can run. And Zeitler's shocked me. Easy to be honest, like Zeitler's run blocking, like the way he's getting out there, it's like, dude, bro.
I remember we were talking about before he's even, yeah, we were talking about it even before he was a Detroit Lion. We were like, he's really good at pass blocking. I don't know if he's athletic because he's older. We're like, I don't know if he's athletic enough to, do what Jonah did, and he's not even doing what Jonah did. He's just still really great at run blocking. Yeah,
dude, he's flying off the line. It's like this dude.
Yeah. There's times where he's pushing Panay, like, get the fuck out of the way, let's go.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. But and then I see that, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a problem because I don't know how. I don't think they're gonna be able to deal with that. And then but up front, like I said, I think you can get the DT that you want to go at. Like Dexter, as you were saying earlier, like because they passed on Carter and now they got Dexter in there, that's their dude. They lean on Javon Dexter. And I think the other guy to keep an eye on, Chad, just for everybody, like DeMarcus Walker, he's not Sweat, but I feel like he's come on a little bit for him. And while they're trying to figure out like who's the other guy and they go make that trade, DeMarcus Walker is like kind of quietly a dog. And he a lot of times gets matched up with tight ends at DN. You'll see him a lot of these plays, 95. He's kind of a dog. He's rotational. But I feel like that's the kind of dude where it's like he'll get a couple plays on you. But like you can see it right here with the double team, like you can move these dudes a little bit. I mean, that's Dexter. He's at the 3. And you could do this. You can go strong side runs because they're going to shift to the strength. And if you want to get Dexter there, you can get at him. And then all of a sudden, this is Zeitler and Sewell. And you're going straight at him, with a lead block. And that in that case, you got to power off it like they're doing. And you just down block and boom, you're shooting off of that. Like, you can go right at him. And I think these are the two run plays that I like. I like the stretch because I don't think they'll be able to chase consistently over top. They'll get some negatives. And then I love the power stuff because these big D linemen, it's like I think you can move them. So I don't think it'll be examples of like you try to double somebody and he just stands there and stonewall. Like I don't think that'll happen very often at all. And then all of a sudden, linebackers off it, man. Like our receivers block. You know what I mean? It's not too, but our receivers block.
Yeah.
So I got a couple. Yeah, go ahead.
No, what were you about to say?
Nothing cool. Well, you sound like you were about to say something cool, so go ahead.
I was going to ask you a question. So you sound like it's going to be a big Jambo game earlier. Is what you're trying to hit into?
Man, I think it's like like last week against the Colts, I felt like it was I felt like there was a moment in there where it was like, okay, we had to find someone to go win because I thought Indy like in the first half was playing a lot more two deep, and it was like this isn't who Indy is. Indy's a cover 3 team. Like they always, Houston always is a problem for them because this is how they play. And then in the second half, it felt like maybe that was because of the run game. It felt like they were like, no, let's get back to cover 3 is who we are. And for a stretch, we had like 3 straight plays where it was difficult for us to find a window. We were trying to get Laporta, and it was like, we can't find these tight windows. So Goff wasn't firing it. So it was like, all right, someone just got to go win on the outside. We went to Saint first, and we know Saint's always going to win those if he gets the off cover. He's always going to win. We do little outs, little hitches. But then it was like, J-Mo, go win. And they did. They ran that big, like, deep curl to him on Jones, and he just cooked him. I mean, he absolutely cooked the guy. Sat down, and it was like big chunk play. I think that's what J-Mo's is going to be in that situation, I think, a lot in this game. Because to your point, like, I like what they have at corner. And Gordon could follow around Saint. I mean, I don't know if they'll do that personnel-wise. I think you might see more Tyreek Stevenson if we're going heavy. Tyreek Stevenson matched up with Saint, and I would like to see how that plays out. But I don't think Tyreek, to me, starts with speed more than anything. So I think we're going to see, depending on who we see, even if it's Tyreek Stevenson, I don't think he can deal with speed, so I think he'd have a problem with J-Mo too. I just think that opportunity is going to present itself. It's like you're going to get a one-on-one, and at some point, we're going to kind of be forced to, like, these windows are tough. And instead of putting Goff and, like, trying to hit these tight things over and over, just go win one-on-one. Go win a double move. You're not even getting help. And I think there's going to be a point of that, even with the cover four, like we would do that in the past too, where the safeties start cheating like they were, go behind them on a post. I think that J-Mo is the one dude in this game, outside of the run game as a whole, that can kind of shake whatever they want to be in this game. You know what I mean? It's like, this is who they want to be. This is what gives us problems. And Jameson can kind of be like the antidote. You know what I mean? Like, hey, this is a problem that you've given us in the past, but also in the past, we didn't have a go-to guy on the outside. Like, we did it. I remember we played Baltimore a couple years ago, man, watching that game back. It's like, bro, we couldn't win on the outside. It's like, we don't have an answer. And that's something that we talked about. It was like, do we have an answer when teams take away the middle of the field? I remember we talked about that. And I think Jameson, it's like, you're the answer because there's no other guy here. You got to be that guy. Now, maybe Patrick at some point does something, but I just feel like it's like J-Mo's time to step in those shoes and give teams problems one-on-one. Because that's the idea when you draft him. It's not that he takes the top off a couple of times. You can get that in Kylie Freeman. But it's that, bro, you're going to go beat everybody. That's how I look at it. Like, you're gonna match up with him, and he can't match up with you. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it.
No, that's a great point.
I said a lot there, though. Now, and I'm going to go to their pass deep. Stick with their pass defense just for a little bit longer. Show some different examples because, again, cover three is who they are, and you see it every time. Safety's going to play the flats, so they're going to play sky coverage in all of these every time. And you can see, look at their linebackers, bro. They funnel the middle of the field, so they're trying to give you these spaces, and you can see outside force and inside. This is exactly what Tampa did. Flat defender plays outside, and they're going to give you these, but they're going to funnel everything back in. So they're making everything a tight window throw for the quarterback. Now, in this case, they take the shot on Johnson. This thing gets picked off. It was a flag, but it got picked off here. And they're cool with giving that one-on-one. But I think similar to Tampa Bay, you can find answers with, like, we started going to like those little whip routes underneath. You can clear out and try to get underneath it. Or you can go win on the outside one-on-one like they tried to there against their corner, and it's like we're taking advantage. I do think a little wrinkle, though, and again, this could be Jameson, whoever you want it to be, it's probably going to be J-Mo. They're aggressive. So, like here, single side, they're going cover three, but this cornerback's aggressive, man. He's one-on-one with the tight end. He doesn't drop out and get depth. Like, usually you would see this and be like, all right, he's going to drop out. He's going to go find a route that crosses him because this guy's chipping and he's running the flat. Like, you don't stay down. He stays down on the play. So all of a sudden, this deep post runs behind him and they don't have anybody out there to chase. They're trying to ask their linebacker to turn around and chase him instead of having their cornerback standing there because they're not giving you that check down. And that's where it's like you could get these like full field. That's Jamison Williams, man. Make someone chase that. And it almost may force them to do something different because they're trying to chase it. And you can see it again here. Look, they're funneling everything inside. You know what I mean? Like, this is exact. So they're giving you the inside. And if I'm going at somebody, I'm not going at this guy. I'm going at this guy. Whoever they want to put, whatever safety you want to bring down, throw it to that guy. Don't throw it at Kyler Gordon because he does things like this, man. And this is a screen, but there's more examples. Like, that dude's aggressive as heck. He jumps on the football. He jumped on a pass in this game too. That would not be the guy I'd be throwing at. Yeah, what's up?
What number's Kyler?
6. Number 6, he's wearing these sleeves right here, man. That's the slot. He's not Brian Branch, but he's like their Brian Branch, bro. That's the vibes you get when you watch him. Like, this dude's a dog. So I would just stay away from him. Like, I'd make it that simple. Hey, if we think they're in that, just go the other way. Just throw it the other way. Because he's an animal. And I think you'll have that opportunity because you can see the spacing where they give you. You'll have the opportunity where it's like, if you want to, like, delay it, like I think Minnesota scored they got a first down on that. I don't know if the play's in here, but they ended up like just running their slot receiver on a fade, slot left, and he just checked it down like a little whip round. He's wide open. It's like you're going to have the ability to, I think, set that route open and get that open because he's so aggressive, because he'll carry those things, especially in those spots, they'll match it. But otherwise, I don't want to go to that guy a ton. That's kind of just where I'm at with it. So now I'm going out to the other side of the ball.
What's the stat prediction for Amon-Ra?
Ooh,
What type of game you think will he have?
yeah.
Because he's got the knee now
That's a good
too.
question.
His knee's banged up.
Got the knee, man. He got a tough matchup. See, here's the only part. This is where I struggle because I'm showing you all these clips, but I'm like, if there's a dude that's gonna eat in that spot, it's St. Brown. Because St. Brown's the type of dude, you know what I mean, where it's like I can write like, hey, go run this route, and he'll have like his own little shake to it to get himself open, and Goff will trust that he'll get open. Versus like if I'm running that same route for anybody else, I feel like he'll be the guy that's like, let me go find this little, let me go move like this a little bit. I don't think this is gonna be a huge St. Brown game. Yeah, you asked me a question, and I think Saint I would say Saint a normal Saint Brown game is like 8 receptions, so I don't think he'll go like 10. I would probably lean like, it's tough, man. He might go average to below average in this game. I'm just trying to think though, because like I feel like when you tell me if you think about it like this. I think when you face a defense like this in the back end, that's this sound. I mean, their numbers are crazy on the season. I'll show the stats again, but their pass defense is kind of similar to what we've been doing. I mean, we're the best. Stop playing, but they're not bad, man. 9 touchdowns, 9 picks, 62%, 7th in football. They're not giving you easy completions, 84 pass rating. Like when you see those numbers, man, and what they're doing in coverage, it makes you think like you go to the guy then that you trust because he'll be the guy that gets you open. But I don't think this is a good matchup for him. I'll say he'll go like 6 receptions. I'll go on 6.
For the bettors out there, 70 yards, over or under.
Easy, is your mic on? Because you sounded goofy there. I just want to make sure you.
Apologize. I was not.
No, you're good. You don't have to hold it. But
for the bettors out there, over under on 70 yards.
For me, you asking what I would do?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I'd roll the under, man.
With a knee too, tough matchup.
I think I'd roll the under, yeah.
Man,
because
yeah.
Go ahead.
No. I've been all week. I've been saying it's a dogfight, and it's just more evidence of that. To be honest with you, this little chat we're having.
I could be completely wrong on this. I don't. If
I think you're right. I mean, they've been a thorn in our side for the past 2 years, man. Even last year, we were so clearly the better team, and it took us a miracle to beat them.
Right.
And then before that, after that, they beat us in Chicago.
Yeah. It was like I remember we took the lead in that game. It was like we got him, and then the second half we just did like nothing.
Yeah.
We got him at 4. It's like all right, we figured it out. We just did nothing. That's a tough team, bro. And we're seeing it though. It's not just us. Like Green Bay should not have beat them, and Minnesota, as goofy as it was, like bro, they were hanging on. And the thing is with Minnesota. Chicago muffed the punt like their own 4-yard line, which gave Minnesota a touchdown. I mean, that game, they could have definitely like won that thing, man. I know it took some luck at the end that kind of got them back, but point is they're riding with these teams to the very end, man. So this isn't just us. This is a tough team. And
man. I
like Laporta more. I like Laporta more this week than Saint, I think.
Okay. Why is that?
Yeah. Now, I don't know. I think, we talk about these linebackers, man. I think with all the zone, and I think the big body that can just kind of settle down in those big areas is easier than trusting like the smaller guy to kind of sit down and find it. I trust a bigger body, and I feel like against teams like this, like we'll run like those quick slants into that same zone, and he'll go to Laporta with a little more size. I like Laporta, but I also like Patrick. I like Patrick for some big, because I think Patrick with his run after catch will actually be able to like do some things. Little bit more there, but I'd say, man, because their numbers are going to be different. Like if Laporta's at 30 and Saints at 70, I'd go Laporta over and then say under. Where are you at with that? Like, who do you think is going to cook?
It's tough, man. They kick our ass, man. They do. Even if we end up winning, they still like they make it tough. Receiving wise or just like player wise?
Yeah, receiving.
I mean, I'm kind of back to what we were saying earlier. I think J-Mo could be the hero for this one. I think he played a little bit of hero ball for us. I initially didn't. I don't know about Laporta, just for the same reasons you were kind of talking about. Not the same reasons because you think Laporta's gonna have a good game, but like not expecting these linebackers to give up too many passes, or at least not for like too many big yards. He's already kind of been struggling this year anyway. He still can do it. Obviously, you saw what he did last year, but I think because you're making me nervous about Saint. I was going to say I think this could be a Saint game, like a pitch and catch game, just because of the situation with Skip being in there other than Decker. Like one of those,
Yeah.
like the third we hit over the Rams. See what deal in the playoff game. Like just little quick ones like that. You know what I'm saying? Because him and Goff are kind of like that. They got that chemistry. But J-Mo for
Right.
sure. Just beyond catching the ball, talking about the yak of J-Mo. Like go catch him on those end breakers and let him go, let him fly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could definitely be right on Saint, man, because anytime betting against Saint's not a good idea. I'll just say that. Like, if there is an over under,
Yeah.
don't bet the under.
Yeah.
Don't actually bet the
like,
under.
Like the over under was 69.5. I was looking at earlier, and I think that's like on the money. Like I think he gets like 69. You know what I'm saying? Like
I'd actually go the under, but yeah, no, I get it. No, dude, that's tough, man. Because it's like Saints, you're gonna find a way to get him the ball somehow. You may hand it to him. You're gonna get the football. You're not gonna go a game where he just doesn't get the ball, or he doesn't. The attempt is not to go to him. It was outside of like week 1, which was weird.
I guess he had the like highest ranking WAR for this one too, or for the first half of the season, or something like that. I saw on PFF.
And he's always our zone beater, too. He's always
he
dominates zone coverage. So if they're gonna play that like they do, it's typically where he's gonna eat. Because like this, is how I had it out. You know, cover 3, cover 4, first down, and then in any short yard situation, cover 3, cover 3. Like they still are kind of that team, and it just gets a little more diverse the more that they back you up. They're still not a heavy blitzing team, but you'll get a little more 2 deep safety the more that they back you up, and they'll have some wrinkles out of it with some cover 1 in there. But like they're still that zone team that like the biggest wrinkle will be like we're playing cover 3, but we're gonna match it. You know what I mean? Like it's still so you're still getting one-on-ones. So whoever you trust to cook on one-on-ones, I would say that's probably the guy to lean with. Because that honestly, easy. Like if we're playing heavy, because I'm coming this, I'm playing super heavy personnel. If we're gonna play
Dion,
super heavy, yeah.
Your audio's messed. I thought it was my computer at first, but they're commenting right now. It's like I don't know. It sounds like you're a demon or something. Just like a voice changer on or something.
No, all right, hold on.
Should we put some bass in your voice?
Wait, hold on. Let me unplug it.
I think Amara is our zone beater, but you're making me a little bit nervous about Kyler Gordon. I mean, I knew he was good, but I don't know he was that good.
Dude, do I sound crazy still, or do I sound better?
No, I don't even know what it is. Still sounds the same.
Sounds bad?
Oh, hold on, say something.
Hello. Sounds rough.
Nah, it's still weird.
Okay.
Did you do something? Did you do anything differently?
Nah, I didn't do nothing differently. I think I'm gonna have to.
Just disconnect and
refresh my page. Yeah. Give me 1 second. I'll be back.
All right. I will. Hey guys, how you doing? It's me. Donate $5 and I'll eat this pen. $500. I'll do it $500. Is someone gonna do that? I would do it. Sammy Potts against Chicago Bears is averaging 20 yards a game and 2.5 receptions. I think those linebackers have the middle of the field on lock. I think Edmonds coming over from Buffalo. He was a dog in Buffalo. I think he's a dog in Chicago too. I think they built that defense specifically to stop us. A few times I've been on Dion's live streams. I think we've had that conversation because they grabbed guys that cover the middle of the field, and now they have Kyler Gordon, who's emerging now as well. Before it was Jaquan Brisker on top of T.J. Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds in the middle of the field. So I think this would be tough for Laporta. I think Amara can still get him just those quick. I mean, him and Goff's chemistry is just so nice that like I think it can kind of surpass the scheme a bit, but not in anything with Dan Skipper out, not anything beyond 9 yards. You know, like it'll be short, intermediate throws in the middle of the field. Oh, I see you're back in the middle. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I'm just trying to figure out
if
it's working or not. It's fixed?
Yeah, it's fixed. I think the main thing though is run the ball. I think Jahmyr Gibbs would like lean on him, not just to like obviously do well, but like carry us, to be honest with you, extremely well. Like beyond your EPA, you know, beyond your 4 yards per rush, even though he's averaging like 5 something, I'm pretty sure. We need those like 70-yard runs. Straight up. We need a few of those. Because the Chicago Bears defense is really stingy, man. They are. And we're banged up.
Dude, I feel like their pass defense makes their like their pressure rate's 25% on Pro Football Reference. I feel like their pass defense is a big reason that it is where it is. Because like even when you watch, you don't feel like, man, they're cooking everybody. Like Sweat's good and Walker will do some things, but it feels like it's mainly their coverage, bro. It's just that good. I put the Jalen Johnson thing down here. To your point though about the tight end, like their safeties are playing pretty well too. Like even Owens, like these guys are pretty good in coverage too, especially when they play man. So it's like I was gonna say like, if we're gonna play heavy, this could be one of those games where they put Laporte at receiver and like try to work that, like work some
Yeah,
slants, work those big area zones,
I would
work
love
those
that.
spots there. Yeah, that might be the way to get him going.
Ooh,
What were you
um,
talking about? I feel like I just jumped in there and then you stopped.
no, you're good. I was talking about if they donate $500, I'll eat this pin. Literally is what I said. I'm not even joking. I said that at some point.
Anybody donate
I
$500?
was just talking about dinking and dunking. I just think like you can get Amara going, but you have to dink and dunk your way down the field. All right,
Okay,
for
okay.
JMO though, like, do you think Goff will have that time for those in breaking routes? Because I know like his catches, I don't think he's ever caught. I think he's caught like 2 catches outside of like 19 yards, air yards. I'm talking about. Like, do you think we'll have enough time for a JMO route to develop?
Okay, I honestly did not listen to like the beginning of that question, so I was like really confused.
You're good. You think JG will have time for JMO routes to develop?
Oh, I feel yeah. No, I think he will. I think he will, man. I don't think they get a lot of pressure, and then you watch him too. It's like I put it on here at the bottom. Here, I'll move myself. I put it on here at the bottom. Like they don't blitz much, but then also like the way that they create pressure is they simulate the pressure, but they're still bringing 4. And I trust our pass pro. Like unless Skipper's getting cooked left and right, we might just leave an extra guy in there. I mean I would just chip him and leave him in there, but. To me, like I think you're gonna definitely have time, especially if it's like let me try to get that shot to him. I don't think that'll be a problem, honestly, at all. He's like this. It's not to the extent which I think like maybe Jacksonville was too, but it feels similar where it's like Goff might even do some things with his legs in this game. Like I can see that being on the table where he might, you know what I mean? He's been taking off a little bit. He might run around a little bit. That's kind of where I'm at. I think he might scoot a little bit in this one. But yeah, no, I think you'll have time for JMO, for sure. Okay.
I just wish I wish the game was starting in 30 minutes.
Hey, it's early though tomorrow, man. We get right
It
to
is.
it.
I'm purposely going to stay up tonight just so I can wake up and boom, game time.
Easy. What? What? Okay.
Seriously.
What's your meal, man? What's your go-to, man? Thanksgiving. What do you?
My go-to meal?
What's that dish? You know what I mean?
Like
Chat, let me know. What's the dish? What's up,
light
Chase?
skin, like between like 130, 170, like 5'6", brown eyes, green eyes. I could do either one, and she's gotta have like a unique name.
Like what? Like example?
Call that dish stuffing. You know what I'm saying? That's too far.
You lost me on the name, honestly. You were cooking, but then you lost me on the name. I don't know.
I'm sorry. That was uncalled
No,
for.
I mean, it's all right. I mean, if that's your interest, your interest.
Mac and cheese is my favorite meal by far. Like, not mac and cheese and.
Easy, you the kind of guy that like wants eggs. You know what I mean? Like you're like,
no,
let's get some eggs. Just like a few.
No, disgusting.
Eggs.
I hate eggs.
A little bit of eggs. Oh, but you probably now you like apple cider though. You know what I mean?
So I did.
I know you're a real one for that. You like
back in the day. Yes, I did. But now it just messes my stomach up, man. I feel like apple cider makes me gotta go. If you know what I'm saying, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Like a little ACV, little apple cider vinegar. You probably had a little apple cider vinegar, no? A little bit of that.
Honestly, when I was like in shape, working out, going to the gym, doing jiu-jitsu, yeah, I had that shot of apple cider vinegar every day. Like 2 of them.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, we gotta get back. Hey,
I do gotta get back
on that. I gotta get back on that. You know what I mean? We gotta start the ACV again.
I was a dog.
Hey, no, I'm with you though. You said turkey's overrated. I'm not really a turkey guy. I like the ham that's like really like sugared. You know what I mean?
Dude, I get it. Back then, like you were scavenging, you had to hunt for everything. You had to settle for turkey. Like that's the reality. You had to settle for turkey.
Dang. So we don't
nowadays, what are we doing eating turkey? It's disgusting. It's dry. Nobody likes turkey. Like if it's deep fried, maybe, and then you got to mix it in with other food for it to even be good. It's like Jared Goff. You need the fixings around it to for it to be a
wow. That's crazy. That was just unnecessary. That was crazy.
You need the fixings around it for it to be good. I'm just saying.
Wow.
For it to be great.
No, that's actually crazy. Now, I mean, so what you're saying is turkey and Thanksgiving shouldn't really be a thing anymore. It should be like, hey, it's Thanksgiving.
I think
where's
we
the
should
ham?
Start progressing towards tacos.
Hey, I'm not mad at that.
Like people are dyeing their
mad
hair
at that.
blue. They're calling
You know what I
themselves dolphins, whatever. We should be able to eat tacos on Thanksgiving. I'm just saying.
Look, man, I'm not gonna argue with you on that one, bro. Honestly, I think you might be spitting a little bit. You know what I
No,
mean?
I'm saying.
Hey, yo, you can't go wrong with some tacos, man.
Right?
I mean, we could have all of it too. We get tacos, put the nachos too if you want. I mean, it's
Bro,
basically
imagine,
the same thing.
the Thanksgiving table, right? The giant
Oh
table,
my, like
a
some
big
walking
tray of
tacos.
nachos in the middle. Yeah.
Come on, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Come
The
on,
walking
dude.
tacos around the taco, like you just like, come on now.
You scoop one. Yeah.
Come
One
on.
each plate.
Hey,
You know what I mean?
you can do turkey taco meat, brown turkey.
Like
We're
you can
still
even
eating
put
turkey.
jerky. Even jerky. We're getting to that point.
Yeah. J Mommy, turkey's one of the healthier meats to eat. Do I look healthy to you? No.
Nah, bro. Honestly, man, I went to my
like a
jerky.
concern of mine.
Yo, I went to buy jerky yesterday and I was like, ooh, turkey jerky, that's got to be whack, dog. I'm not kidding. Straight as a savory. I'm like, ooh, that's probably like supposed to be like real healthy. I'm like, that's probably trash. It's probably not, but I just assumed it was trash because it said turkey on it. It's like, come on, bro, that's not the same. But anyway, man, cranberry sauce. I don't think I've ever even had cranberry sauce.
I'm not a big cranberry sauce guy, but I would be happy with just mashed potato. What should you say? I love mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes, yeah.
And I get, for whatever reason, green beans get like a bad rep. Green bean casserole. Green bean casserole is good. If it's got the crunchy stuff on top, it's good.
Oh yeah. The crunchy stuff kind of pulls it together. To be honest, that makes it because I thought it'd be a little slimy, but you put the crunchy stuff. We're talking. Yeah, you don't want that. You know, there's like a lot of food that I feel like we leave out of Thanksgiving, which is a little bit disrespectful. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
for example, are you a pie guy?
I'm not a pie guy, actually.
See, that's the thing. I'm not a pie guy either.
Yeah, like bring out the cake.
And it's just like
bring cake or Rice Krispie treat.
that's what I'm saying. If you had a birthday cake, Rice Krispie treat.
I swear, not like the store bought one. She would make it.
Yeah, but homemade.
Yeah.
That's fire. No, that's
Little did I
tough.
realize though, like back then, just because she couldn't cook, and they're just really easy to make. I used to gas her up because it's the only dessert that I like to eat back then. So like when when Auntie came through, she brought the Rice Krispies. I was like, oh, Auntie in the right. Like she was feeling herself. I made her feel like I probably the reason why she started cooking.
You still hyping him up though. You still bring him. You still hype him up.
Yeah, she's like, "Ooh, I'm bringing my Rice Krispies." I know it's how easy it is to make them. I'm like, "Yeah, let's go."
That's what matters though, because it's harder to make a pie, but nobody even wants the pie. I'd rather have the Rice Krispie treat. So
I don't understand. Yeah, pie's just like slop. The crust is good. I like the crust.
Yeah, the crust is good, but then I get to the inside, like, ooh, this is like really slimy. This is nasty.
Yeah,
I feel like I gotta overdo the Cool Whip to make it good.
Ooh, shout out to where is it?
Yeah.
Antonio Jenkins, peach cobbler.
Has been hitting since the early 2000s.
Damn, that's rough. I might have to cut my granny off if that was the case.
That's crazy.
I'll have to uninvite granny until she got it right. Just saying,
bro. It's been about 20 years.
Yeah. Hey, granny, I think you're trying to get off on me. This ain't the peach cobbler I grew up eating. Just saying.
Yo.
No, I'm kidding.
Wait. But you were talking about eating a pen. I want to be around for a long time. I asked Dion you at least once a week. Wait. A pen. Did I miss something?
I told you. I literally said, if someone donates $500, I'll eat this pen.
Oh, see, I didn't know you said that part. I just heard the donate $500 part.
Yeah, so you thought I was doing the toe thing again.
Well, I assumed it was something crazy, so I didn't want to go back down that route.
That's why I had the pen. I'm actually making my pinky toe Buzz Lightyear after this stream.
Man, hey, I think they're making a new Toy Story movie.
I got slick with it, and I just took all 5 toes and I made the slinky, and I put little dog ears in the big toe at the end.
That's tough. You can move those toes or no?
Yeah, so it looks like a slinky.
You can?
You can't move your toes?
Different, easy. I mean, I can move my toes, but not like just those two. Like I would.
Oh, like the back two?
And I don't have a lot of mobility. Like it would be just all together. You know what I'm saying?
Do you want me to try? I'll do it right now.
No, we don't need all that. We. All right. Is it warm apple pie?
You know what?
Yo.
I can do that. I can do that. Like if you put ice cream on apple pie. Yeah.
No, I'm with that. If there's a pie I can get by, it's apple pie. But sweet potato, I had it one time in elementary school. I was like, this is the best thing of all time. I don't think I've had it since though, so I don't even know. But I loved it, man. It was something about it. I was like, this is gonna be nasty. It's like this is amazing. So I don't know, Chad. Let me know. Is sweet potato pie actually like heat, or was it like I was maybe not eating that, but I thought I was. Like maybe that's a real possibility. Is I thought that's what it was, but it wasn't. So now I'm just
Ooh,
not
mud
sure.
pies. Those are actually good without the gummy
Mud
worm.
pies.
Yeah, I
Oh
remember.
yeah,
I
yeah,
remember where I
yeah,
had that,
yeah.
but they're good with the Oreos and stuff like that.
That's tough. No, that is tough.
Um,
Yeah,
Kendall
yeah, yeah.
Vildor,
Kinderville,
are
dog.
you a apologist? Are you a truther? Are you a
Uh,
hater? Where do you
well, I guess I'm
categorize
gonna.
yourself?
Here's how I look at it. Here's how I look at it. I'll be honest. He's a backup. He's a
Mm,
backup. And
I was
if
just
we're
saying,
talking about this, he's a backup. Okay, there's no doubt.
yeah,
But if we're being fair, I don't think this game he's going to be exposed. Like I don't think he's going to get cooked in this game. I don't think it's the offense to do it. I could be wrong. I don't think he'll be in that situation that often. He might get beat a couple times, but I don't think it'll be like Vildor is destroying us right now. I don't know, man. Like it's tough because I feel like the one shot he gave up in the first half, like it was very not the one he gave up a couple, but one of the shots he gave up in the first half, it was like understandable why he got behind him, because of how we were playing it. But I, you even see like when Dorsey came in, it's like you're not in the mix. It's like they're not playing it the way like the guys that have been in there are feeling. He's not feeling it the same. And I think the more and more I'm like seeing the cornerback play, the more and more stress it puts you on of like you got to really like you got to feel the game a lot more than just I got to cover my guy because like as soon as
yeah,
Dorsey gets in there, it's like he's playing super shallow, and you're watching Carlton, he's like all over the route, and I'm just like these two guys are not on the same page. They're doing two different things here, and I think with Vildor, like one, he's not a great athlete. I wouldn't say he's a great athlete, so like. You see it. Like if someone gets behind him, there's not much recovery there. And he's never been great at making plays on the ball. You know what I mean? Like he'll
yeah,
contest things, but he doesn't really do anything when the ball gets in the air. So it's like I don't know. It's kind of what I expected, to be honest with you. It's just,
yeah,
and he tackles well. You know what I mean? It's just he's a backup. I don't see a starting potential in the future. That's why we
yeah.
drafted
I
who we
think that's
drafted.
like what people got to wrap their heads around too. Is like not like you're not going to get that elite level play. And to be honest with you, I think you made a great point with like just the flow of things, at least like how they play. Because like, let's not forget what Matthew Stafford. I mean, different. They schemed it that way a little bit there, but like we give up a lot of passing yards at the beginning of the year. The Seattle game that happens every year. Stafford. It's just not recently. It's I feel like they're getting better as the season goes on.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think he'll be fine this week. I think he'll be fine this week. He's going to have run support because of how they run. But
Yeah,
and we don't have to go through this whole thing. But just to give you the numbers, like their run game, you can see it's just not fantastic. A lot of this is Fields isn't there. I mean, Fields would inflate the heck out of these numbers. 23rd rushing yards per carry, 22nd in yards per game. The two things, so I think I gave two things on defense, two things on offense I focus on. Number one, if they're running right, they're probably running it as a wide run. It's probably a toss, probably a pin pull. It's something wide because or it's maybe an outside zone because they like to get behind that first round pick. They love to go behind Darnell Wright. They let him work. And then their big right guard, who's absolutely massive. It's just crazy. He stands it. You'll see it. This dude's huge. But when he's at right guard, man, they can like he can move dudes. And they'll lean into that ability, though he doesn't really move that well. And then when they go inside, they go behind Tevin Jenkins, who's like the power piece. He just drives people out of the play. They'll go behind their left guard and they'll run things to the inside. So I feel like it doesn't mean they're gonna do it every time, but I feel like their run scheme is you kind of know what it is. And I don't think Swift is a great running back in terms of like there's nothing here, go do something with it. Like he's not that. But if he has the opportunity where he gets in space a little bit, he could be a little bit tough to kind of like corral because he'll have like that burst to him kind of like Gibbs does. Not to the same extent, but similar.
yeah, and you can make someone miss too.
He'll make someone miss. Yeah, it is just but he's not like if we create some missed blocks, he's not gonna go out there and make 4 yards out of it. Like I just don't believe that's gonna consistently be a problem for us. Yeah, Rakestraw's on IR.
Yep.
What was I gonna say? Oh, so real quick, before we go too far on it, so James Houston got released. Any like takes on that whole situation?
So I realized it. I think it was Justin Rogers who's kind of talking about it and put it in my head. Is I think you and I have talked about it probably too, but like if you look at the defensive ends they go for, we talked about it before. Any acquisition at defensive end position that they want the bigger guy, thicker guys, all pause intended, whatnot. Drafting Josh Pascal, they're not really like speedier edge rusher guys. They're guys that could collapse the pocket, that could bear down these tackles and squeeze the quarterback in or out, whatever ends up happening. James just never was that, and he couldn't fit the linebacker position for whatever reason. It just wasn't a scheme fit. I still think he can go elsewhere and find success. It's just not here, unfortunately. It just doesn't fit what we're trying to do. And we need the roster spots to grab Maurice Alexander and whoever else we end up grabbing. I think they actually put David Long on the roster now too, and he actually plays linebacker spot like how they want it to be played. So we needed to make roster moves at the end of the day, and unfortunately, he was a sacrificial lamb. I don't know what word to use there.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's, well, no, it's a weird one to kind of wrap my mind around a little bit because it makes a ton of sense. But like roster numbers, we filled it, and like you said, with Long signing now, I think Malcolm doing what Malcolm did last week, like proving he kind of played that same role. Because they don't really get pressure from that role. And like when Barnes is there, Barnes isn't like a big pressure piece anyway. So it's like as long as he's stopping the run, he plays in coverage a little bit. Like we'd rather have that than a guy that occasionally might get a pressure from that same exact role in early downs, but really struggles to stop the run consistently outside of just effort plays. And that's kind of where Houston was at with it. I do think we are losing something though, legitimately though, because like when he is out there as a situational rusher, he's not elite, but he did have some like timely wins. And with where we're at now, like we don't really have that piece within that group at all. Trevor gives you a little bit, but there's not really much there. So I don't know. It made sense based on the numbers, but I also then go back to when we drafted him and to think like they were trying to play him at off-ball linebacker, and they're like, okay, we're gonna simplify it for him. It's a lot. Let's put him back to what he did at Jackson State and just let him go. And it almost feels like when they draft, because I'm like, well, why would you draft him then? You know what I mean? Like, what was the initial point? Obviously, you could rush past this, maybe just seeing if it could turn into something. But I feel like that the vision was maybe he was going to be an off-ball linebacker, because like similar with Derek Barnes, we thought he was going to be the Mike, and he's not. He just didn't become that guy. So maybe it was just one of those things. But I don't know. The path for Houston was always weird. But I guess that's always what happens when you have a guy that's that late, because there's a reason. They're not their typical build. It's just a hard role to fill. But I don't want to say I'm disappointed, but I'm not happy about it necessarily. Like I still feel it would have been nice to have him down the stretch, because I don't think he's going to come back.
It definitely felt, I don't think he is either. I think just the whole journey was weird for him. Like he didn't make the initial roster his rookie year. Remember, he was on the practice squad his rookie year. They called him up for the Thanksgiving game, and then the rest is history. But I think he'll find his. Do you think he lost his step at all through injury?
I feel like he didn't lose his step. I feel like he looks a little bit like more heavier. Like he looked heavier. Yeah. He looked like a guy that was trying to fit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's just like, I think the only way he made it work is you had to say he's a pass rush specialist, be who you are, be 240 pounds, and just rush. And I think the Lions could have done that. That's the only part I'm a little bit disappointed, because I feel like you could have just left him there and just been like, that's fine. Just be that guy. I mean, like, did you need to sign David Long to the 53? Did you need to sign Maurice Alexander? I mean, I guess Maurice is probably going to return punch, but did you need to sign David Long to 53?
He could have waited too. Like you didn't have to be done. Yeah, no, I'm with you. But I feel like there's been.
I'm not mad. It just feels like it wasn't necessary.
The way Campbell spoke about him at certain times, like just throughout the off seasons and like this season, like it was.
Maybe he made the 53
or headbutting. Like you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But it felt like it was more so of like he's just better than the other guys that are trying to get this spot. He just has more juice. But at the same time, like the weird thing too about his thing was like at a point there it was like, oh, he is now that Sam guy. Like he's the guy this role's perfect for him. And then after like the second time going down, it was like, okay, now he kind of can't fit into this role, and here comes Barnes, and Barnes is taking that position. Like it was weird. It was almost like they tried to carve something for him, and then all of a sudden Barnes just took the spot and ran with it. And then for Houston, it was, I don't know. It's unfortunate, man. It's not the same as Iffy, but I feel like there's similarities where it's just like we can't even see Iffy. You can't accept the guy. Can't see him play. I mean, he's a dog, but we're just not even getting to see him. I'd be shocked if he was brought back. You know what I mean? So it's just.
Yeah, I think he's just to price himself out in general. Like I just think he could be someone's starting safety, you know, and we're just not going to be able to pay that because he's going to be reserve safety here.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy, man. I don't know. I throw out the idea, and just real quick, I don't know if you saw, I throw out the idea of, I don't know if anything happened with him, so maybe this is off table, but Shaq Barrett trying to unretire. Like, if he became an option for anybody, I'd go after Shaq Barrett. I would 100% do that for the playoffs.
I guess it was Philadelphia who called to get him out of retirement.
So I heard that. That was legit? That was legit?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey, we can call too. You know what I mean? Hey, Philly, you tried. You know what I mean? I know you lost Brandon Graham and stuff, but I mean, let's be real. I mean, one team's 10-1, one is 9-2. It's simple math. And also,
Yeah.
it's warmer here. This dude played in Tampa and in Miami. This dude don't want to go play no dang Philly. I'm just being honest. It's laying it out there for him. Nobody's trying to play in that weather.
Did you say it's warm here? Oh, because we play indoors.
Yeah, we play indoors. So we can
I
set
was
the
just saying.
temperature a little
Yeah, I was
warm
like,
if you need it.
it's cold.
No, it ain't warm outside. But yeah, no, okay. I mean, I don't. Has anything officially happened though yet? Because I'm still gonna hold out hope until it does.
Don't hold out hope.
I'm holding out hope. You can't
That's
tell me
fine.
not to. I'm already doing it. Okay, nothing's happened yet. Nothing's happened yet. He's got inside sources, but nothing's happened yet. That's what you're saying. I got
Yeah.
you. He's coming to Detroit.
Yeah.
That's all good. He'll come to Detroit. You may get cut from there and then come to Detroit. He's coming to Detroit. He should. Yeah, but no, I mean, so that's the big thing with their run defense. The big thing for me is this, easy right here, man. I think you got to kick your fronts a little bit. You know, if that's blitzing, that's fine. But I would slant your front a little bit, create negatives that way, and you got to be able to block the tight ends. I mean, Komet's kind of a dog. And then Mercedes Lewis they were using last week, the guy's like 100 years old. Like, you got to be able to handle that. And I think Malcolm Rodriguez is probably going to see some action there this week. He's probably be thrown right back into the mix. And this is like the team to do it against. And I think that's kind of the thing with Houston, too, is like Houston for certain matchups just doesn't work. Like Indy, you can't really put him on that spot and be like, oh, this is good because he's just going to struggle to stop the run. But same thing with Chicago. They're going to go at you there. They utilize their tight ends to run. So this is where, like, hey, Malcolm Rodriguez, cook again because I feel like last week was a heck of a step in the right direction. And then I'll show some clips on it. You got any thoughts on the run game before I start just rolling these? I'm just going to start rolling these.
Yeah, start wrong.
All right, we'll start rolling them. This is what I was saying, though. The right side of the old line, man, a lot of this outside stuff, the pin pulls like this. Get behind right. Look at Big 79. Look at this dude. Are you kidding? This is a guard, Brad. I mean, not Brad. I'm sorry. Easy. Hey, yo, but honestly, bro, look at this dude, bro. This dude's massive, dog. Look at this guy. That's what I'm talking about. If I'm running behind that dude, too. That dude is massive. That's a freaking offensive lineman right there, all right? And he's bouncing around. The outside runs, they're going to go to the right a lot more times. And that, bro, I'm like, this is what I'm talking. My gosh, dude, it's
I
massive.
got one.
Yeah, he's a big guy, and that was a huge problem for him this season.
One.
Hey, and look, bro, man, this is their guy right here, Darnell Wright. Like, they'll let him just handle it. And you can see Darnell Wright's handling business right there. But that's the thing. Like, even in a run like this, like Swift between the tackles, Monty's getting more yards than this. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure.
That's just not.
Or Gibbs is getting. That's a first down for Gibbs.
Yeah, this is. I don't even know where he's going. I don't know.
Yeah, the hole is right there. What are you doing?
I don't know.
It's been an issue his whole career. It's so weird.
Yeah, it has, and you can see it.
You think he's just stubborn? Like what the hell is it?
I don't know. I think it's a feel, man. I think it's just a feel.
That's crazy. That's an awful feel.
It's just
the hole is right there in front of his face.
I guess it's
unless I'm misreading
backs, man. I mean, if that's where he went. Just
that's crazy.
But this is the problem they get into, man, because like first off, watch Darnell Wright because he leaves his lane wide open, and you see they have the numbers like tight end, but then watch their right guard Pryor, man. He can't get out there, and then all of a sudden you see where this becomes a problem because laterally he just can't stay in front of him, and it's just shut down for Swift.
Jeez.
So like they're gonna try those, but you can see where that becomes a problem. So one, Coleman Shelton, Tevin Jenkins. Not a bad combo. And DJ Reader's probably going to have to deal with Pryor some in this game. But I'm looking at that like, after seeing last week, I think we can cook those guys. I mean, like he might be a big dude. I just feel like Reader's like, I've dealt with this. Like he's gonna be a handful for Pryor in this game whenever he gets that matchup. And then I just feel good about our interior against everybody, I guess. And then
for sure,
just to add on top of that, like Caleb Williams then adds an element because he does this. It's not to the field's extent, but he will take off and run, and it does add a little bit more that you got to deal with. I'll flip it to the run side on the other side because I don't have a ton of pass plays here. Also, by the way, Easy, did you see this play last week where he threw it to Swift for like 40 yards?
No. Oh yeah.
Perfect. Dude,
okay.
I mean,
Can I say something though?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Like that only happens in today's football because this safety, like even 2011, that's a hospital ball. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that. No, I feel that. Yeah, he kind of had to stop himself instead of just lighting him up.
Yeah.
That's true. No, that's actually accurate.
But it's good.
That's accurate, man.
It was very, 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 very insane. You know, someone else, I think Lamar had one of those on Monday too, where it's like he's running towards the side. Like, I don't know how they do that. And it just stays on a line. I don't know. That was an impressive throw, though. I'm not going to lie.
That's a good point, though. I didn't even think about that. No, I'm glad that you did because I wasn't going to, and I should have. So I'm glad that you did what you did there. You did your job. That was good. That was
Thank
good.
you. F the Bears for life.
Yeah, that's always. Think I have a couple different clips on this side. Yeah, I mean, bro. So now we're seeing like kind of using to the strength the inside zone with these dudes. But here's the problem I think that they're causing, man, is they're making you respect so much with their receivers now. So I think before you jumped in here, I compared this offense. This offense reminds me of when Goff was with LA. Like, and what they've done with their new OC, Thomas Brown's from there. Passing the football reminds me a ton. I'll show you some examples of why. But even running the ball, like the amount that they've gotten their receiver, like Rome was that running back here. They do this with DJ Moore. And then these Jets, they're like making you work horizontal. And I think they're doing that. They're taking so much stress off of Caleb. They're trying to make it like anything that we can do is an extension of run game, which isn't great. We're going to do it because our whole line's not great. So they give you so much to respect here, and they'll give them the football. And then, we can see on the backside, this thing gets blown up. Yeah, it just takes too long. Honestly, this is one of those, bro, where Coleman Shelton on Reader, like right here, bro, dominate this dude. You know what I mean? Don't create no movement. Our tier needs to go crazy on these dudes. And then this is where that extension of the run game, the screen.
Do that again. Do it again, please.
RPOs.
Right.
Which one? The screen? Or the run play?
That one.
That one?
So I'm gonna miss Carlton for that.
For that hit right there. Yeah, and this is one where
Just
like
for
they
the
got a number
screen.
with 2D.
I feel like he stepped them out so well.
Yeah, this is slow. Hey, Vildor hit though. That's the positive. Vildor will hit. So if he's out there, he'll hit. We know Mosley will too, as long as he's feeling right.
I think Meek's good at sniffing out those screens too.
And Meek's been crazy the last few weeks, bro. I feel like Meek's like right now, he's peak Meek right now. Like he's at his best. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. This is the stuff they do. And then they go the jet touch pass. And watch this. They'll run this, and then the very next play they work right off it. So they go the jet touch, and the edge crashes down. Bam, they get a medium gain here. The very next time they do another jet, and then immediately they run the toss play right off it. So like they're making you work a ton sideline to sideline, man. And I think for them, it's based on their offensive line. Like, instead of running into a brick wall left and right and saying, let's let our interior try to move guys, they're saying instead, we're going to go behind our first-round pick, this massive dude in 79, and we're going to let these guys run. We're going to create deception. We're going to do it more with scheme, and then let Swift go run in space rather than the play that we saw where he ran for like 2 yards and fell down. Gigantic, bro. Hey, I'm like, who is this guy, man? He's massive. No, he's massive. Okay, I'm going to go to their pass offense. It's our last thing that we got to. Yeah, do your thing. Chad, this is the last thing we got to go to, man, is their pass offense. And to me, this is the most unique aspect because of how it's changed recently. He said Demo's going to stomp these guys. I hope so, man. I hope so. I think we'll be able to run on this team. I think we'll be able to run in a lot of different ways, to be honest with you. But I think either running back could be in for a big one. Like, some games I'm like, this guy I think fits better. I think either one could have success, but especially his former team, I think for sure. But their pass offense. So these were some of the notes that I had, and I'll show different plays outside of this. But the notes that I came with earlier today, like, first off, look at this stat line. Caleb Boone blitzed this season, 6 touchdowns, 1 pick, 58% completion percentage. He throws tight window throws. Here's why I think this is like it is. I think it's because of what they're doing schematically as well. When I watch them, they made me think of the old Rams because there's not a ton of like multiple progression reads. It feels like there's a lot of a route concept with a backside check down. It feels like a lot of that. So at this point, he's just firing passes, and he has incredible arm talent. And then he does some stuff broken plays where a lot of times it doesn't even feel like there's a ton of a benefit for actually blitzing this guy, because say it's 3rd and 7, you need to blitz him. 3rd and 7, you blitz the guy, you go cover one blitz, all of a sudden, bam, he's going to take the shot. He's not going to hold on to the football. He's going to throw it up to Rome. He'll throw it up to DJ. He'll take a shot. We'll give him a chance. So in a lot of ways, I don't think it even brings a huge benefit. And he's also escaping some of these where now he's going above and beyond, where even if you do have pressure, he's still making something happen afterward. I showed some of the screen concepts, the RPOs, the wide receiver at running backs. They're adding that. We'll get to this, kind of their spot concepts when they're backed up, 2nd and long specifically. This is the other keynote. Inconsistent 2nd down passer. This is what I've taken away from what I've went through so far. I think he's an inconsistent 2nd down passer. I think 3rd down makes it a little bit more. I think there's more clarity for him on 3rd down. Like, not even like sometimes it's in what the defense doing coverage wise, but I think it's also like you kind of have to throw the ball. Like, we have something to the sticks, throw it there. I mean, you got to throw it. So there's a lot less. I think like, oh, I don't want that. I don't know if I want that. I don't know if I want that. Let me try to find something else. It's more so like I'm going to put the ball there and give him a chance. And in that sense, they've been awful on 3rd down this season. They've been one of the worst teams on 3rd down in the NFL. Now, Minnesota was a little bit unlike most, because they had 3 drops. One of them was on a first down grab for Keenan Allen. Keenan's their go-to guy on third downs, but they only have 11 drops for the season. It's not terrible. It's like 4.5% or something. But that being said, second down to me is where he's inconsistent. So obviously, if you get them into second and long, fantastic, because usually you would think you'd have to throw there. But even that, I've seen this being a team where it's like 2nd and 9, 2nd and 10. They're still going to run the football because I think they're so bent on, like, if we can just make it third and relatively manageable, we have a pass concept that can get us there. If it's 3rd and 13, it's hard to find something other than just take a shot outside. But if it's 3rd and 8, they'll find a deep out route. They'll find something that they trust that can actually get them where they need to go, and they can set something with Keenan Allen, or they'll set a pick play. So I think they really lean into, like, we just have to create the right concepts for what the team likes to do, and we'll see that here. And the Lions' best defense against that, maybe similar to what they did against Indy, because I think there is a lot of similarity. I think this is a great preparation game, both sides. I think it's a great preparation game, both sides. Like, number one, Indianapolis, offensively, concept-wise, I think kind of similar. I don't think they did a ton of full-field progressions. I think they were kind of similar in that sense. So safety movement post-snap becomes a real problem, where it's not that you have to change the whole coverage. You can say it's man, but if you don't know who's actually in man and who the pick's going to work against, or how they're going to play a bunch or a stack, that's where I think you get problems for them, because then that concept doesn't always open the way they expect it to, and we've seen that. So I think similarly to Indy, it's like that. And then also on the flip side, Indy, who likes to play cover 3, like we saw them do, especially in the second half, you're going to get the same thing here from Chicago. Different little taste of it, because they're going to take away those flats. They're going to try to funnel you back in. But it's the same kind of idea, I think, for both sides of the ball. So I think this is actually a pretty good preparation. Now, you're going to get less design runs. It's not like Anthony Richardson. But I think it's actually a really good preparation game for what we're going to have to deal with, which is great. And obviously, we saw Josh Downs, wide receiver runs. Like, they're going to give you the same threats. Especially after last week, I got to be honest. If I'm the Colts, and I saw what the Lions struggled with last week versus the Colts, with all this diversity, all of, like, the quarterback could run. Here comes Josh Downs. Here's the speed option. Like, if I'm the Bears, I'm using all of that, making them work sideline to sideline. I'm not trusting that we're going to dominate them up front. I don't think that's a good matchup for him. So I'm making them invest everything into, like, we don't know who's getting the football, and all of these guys are threats, and split back looks. I would make that a huge part of my offense if I'm Chicago in this game, just because of the Lions struggle they had with that first drive with Indianapolis, because they can do somewhat similar things, just not to the same extent, because Caleb probably won't have a lot of design running, but maybe he does. I don't know. That could be the wrinkle. Like, let him run it. I don't think they'll do a ton of that, but they could. And then just hit on the last couple of notes here. Man coverage has been a little bit of an issue on third down. Again, I talked about the drops, things like that. The biggest thing there, Lions will probably play cover 1. Maybe they go zone, but if they play man like they typically do, they go 2-man or cover 1. They go cover 1 blitz. Big thing is there, he'll scramble. He'll absolutely take off and run, make something that's not there. That's a big problem, so you have to keep him in the pocket. However, I don't think we need a blitz. I would actually focus more so on getting more guys into coverage. I saw the Vikings drop 8 into coverage on one of those third down spots, and he had nowhere to throw the football, and I don't think they picked it up. I would focus more on that. As a defense, I would focus a lot more on, like, let's get more guys into coverage here. We don't need to bring everybody, because he's going to get the ball fast regardless. He's going to take the shot regardless. So rather than bringing a ton of pieces, I'd rather just say cloud everything up, make him hold the ball, and make him try to do something that's not there. That would be more my focus. I think that actually works a lot better. Even if that doesn't mean dropping 8, keep doing. Have a rat backer. I mean, you could drop 8 in that sense, but just have someone that's free probably underneath as well, because I think as soon as you clear out spots, they can find pick plays, and if the Lions constantly go to the same thing over and over, they're going to find pick plays. But to me, the safety movement will be the big thing. Show single high, show branch on the slot, go to 2 high, have the linebacker take Cole Kmet. Like, do stuff like that. That way they just don't know who's playing man on who. That'll be the big thing. But you could see it. These are their concepts, man. They love the seam shots, and they're heavy on their flood concepts. But the big thing for me is a lot of early downs. You're going to get a lot of play action shots where it's a lot less reads. This is why it's similar to the Rams. And it's not a bad thing. I'm not like, oh man, that's because he doesn't know anything. Like, no, it makes sense. It's smart. It seems like on early downs, a lot less reads, play action. We'll have 2 routes. Everybody else will stay in the pass protect, 2 deep curls, or we'll roll you out and we're going to set layers like we do. We're going to do things like that on early downs. So Green Bay was like, cool, we're not going to let you have that. We're going to play cover 2. We're going to play straight cover 2. We're going to take away, because we're going to take away the flats. And when you're playing flats, you want to play hard flats against this team, because they'll hit the flats. So we're going to take those away. And then all of a sudden, when you get the second down where they're inconsistent passing, if they're second and long, they're going to try to run like these little spot concepts to get the ball in their hands quickly. That way they can set up a third and manageable so that they can create a concept that gets there. But to me, like, and we're going to show some better clips of this, I don't know that blitzing all the time is the best answer, but knowing Glenn, he may blitz a lot in this game. It's just kind of how he does things. So yeah, let's, OL, great pass pro versus Vikings. Yeah, by the way, side note to that, right? And this will be the big thing. Can Za'Darius cook? Because to be honest, the guy that's going to cook in this one is going to be Za'Darius Smith, right? Za'Darius Smith in this game is the guy that can absolutely eat. We talked about with Easy just a second ago. Like, on the interior, they have problems. I don't know if he made the stat up or not, but I don't think he did. But that being said, this is a good pass pro unit that last week was fantastic, but the interior is shaky. But Braxton Jones does a good job. They pick up, extra rushers pretty well. They're pretty good in those spots. Their tackles are really strong in pass pro. I think it's going to be a little bit more challenging to get free rushers by just bringing a fifth rusher. You're probably going to pick it up. So in that case, I'd rather bring 6 or just drop out and not even try to overdo it in that spot. But we may play more 2 deep, just like Green Bay did on early downs, especially if we can stop the run. Or the other aspect to that is cover 3 match. Like, I think this is an underrated coverage. We did it against Green Bay. Cover 3 match works because you can play the safety down in the box, and then when they do throw it and they're trying to run this like flood and they're trying to get vertical and run a deep out underneath it, rather than giving up that out route because your cornerback got pulled out and there's no one there and they just overload a side of the field, you have the slot carry that, and now he's forced to hit the check down or he has to throw a contested pass, and it's just like playing man. So matching coverage or 2 deep, I think, might be more in play in this game on early downs, just so he can eliminate the vertical shots that they're going to try to take to kind of get things settled in, and then make him be a drop back passer, because I don't think that's anywhere near consistent. And he also has some very questionable decisions at time in those spots too. Let me go to the Bears of passing offense, show some plays, and then we'll be good on this. I'm going to go to the Vikings game first because I actually don't know where my Packers ones are here. So let's just go to the Vikings one first, and then we'll kind of talk through some of these. But we saw this ridiculous play. I mean, this is some things that he can do off schedule right here. He's capable of doing some craziness. Here they're going to overload it offensively in the red zone, roll out again, create layers for him, let him see it. Now this time they go quarters, 4 deep on the play. Works well. He's got nothing there, and they just react to it. They respond to it. They shift their coverage to it, so they take it away. But you can see with a lot of these concepts kind of how this can help Caleb. And obviously, again, wide receiver movement. It's a huge part of their offense. It's play action. It's get guys downhill. But look at this concept. There's not a lot of guys going out for a route here, right? There's not a lot going on. There is a concept, and there's a check down. You're flooding it, there's a check down. There's nothing going on the backside. So this is where cornerback blitz, you know what I mean? Like, this is where it's very similar to, I think we saw against the Colts. Maybe get that cover 4 palms where we're playing more aggressive with our safeties. It's taking away the middle of the field. You may get some matching out of it, but this is similar to what the Colts will do. It's things like that. They're not even a backside read. This is the concept, throw it or check it down. And we're going to use play action off of it. And it's good because this is a pass where it's like, all right, that's the window or this is the window. And typically your quarterback will be like, yeah, I'll take the check down. He throws this pass. He throws this. And he makes a ridiculous throw between the backers, and it's a huge chunk. I mean, that's not something that you typically want to do, but he makes a ridiculous throw, and he makes it happen. Or here, the defense, and they handle this well, right? We know Minnesota gets these problems. They go cover 6. Look at this throw. He's going to fire this one right up the seam. As soon as he clears the backer, puts it up the seam, lets him go get it. The problem becomes is as soon as these safeties start moving, and it's like, all right, where's the safety going to go, that kind of thing, you have an opportunity. Like Minnesota ran like a Tampa 2 inverted, so they had a cornerback drop out to the deep half, and their safety rolled down middle of the field, but he played with so much depth that he lurked one of these and he dropped an interception. But you're going to see with Caleb, man, as soon as he sees that clear, he's going to let it fly. So you're going to have opportunities, but he's also very capable of making some throws that you'll probably see tomorrow and be like, what the heck? He's very capable. That's why he's the first pick in the draft, because of stuff like that. I mean, that stuff is special. But as you see, when it's a drop back passing offense, similar to the Colts, it's not as rough. It's not great. It's not great. And you can see it right here, right? You got the spot route. It's like, okay, throw it. And he kind of keeps waiting for it, and then he throws it, and he misses him on the play. Not fantastic. It's kind of the issue with their offense. Here, bunch it on one side. And again, second and long, you're going to get these stick concepts. Now, the big focus is this to me, right? If you're going 2 deep, which is like, okay, makes sense to play 2 deep against this team, especially if you got them in a pass. If it's second and 11, a lot of teams go 2 deep. A lot of teams don't play cover 1 blitz. All right. A lot of teams are playing cover 2 or something, cover 4, because they know that you're trying to get it back. But for the Bears, if they see a 2 deep, they're going right here. They're going curl flat. throw flat. That's their combination, and they like to set the flat with it. Now, in this case, he doesn't go there with the football, but that's their kind of go-to, right? The flat, hard flat takes it away. Now the curl flat's taken away. But notice how in a Tampa 2 defense, right? Tampa 2. So look how deep he is. That's why he's deep, because he's Tampa 2. He doesn't throw this. He doesn't throw that pass, right? He takes a sack. He doesn't even go to that route because I don't think he's going full field. It's not like 1, 2, 3, 4. Instead, he's going 1, 2. I don't like it. Where's my check down? Like, that's what it feels like when I'm looking at it, is there's just a little bit, maybe it's a panic. Maybe it's how their offense is rolling. And maybe this will get better in time. I assume that it will. But right now, that's what it looks like. Or here, quarters coverage. He doesn't like this pass. So instead, he comes all the way back to the check down. Now, again, instead of coming back to like 1, 2, let me hit the dig route, because that could be on time here, right? If I don't like it here, I step up. Now my dig's there. Instead, he comes all the way back to a check down, and he throws it to Cole Kmet. Now, this works because it's a backside whip route. The timing's on point, and I think that's where we've seen their offense really help with Caleb. That's what their offense has done. That's what their offense has become, is that to really help him out. I think that's been the big standout thing with in terms of how they're doing things timing wise. And then again, if you get 1-on-1, well, you're gonna see it. He's not afraid to take that shot. And this one was incomplete, but he's gonna trust it. He's gonna put it up there. He's gonna give him a chance. And that's gonna be the challenge that you run into in those spots. The positive is he's going to Keenan Allen most of the time. Here he's on the outside. Sometimes he's on the inside. A lot of times it's Keenan Allen. And you can cover it, especially if you go 2-man, because then you can press the board. You don't have to be as concerned about someone getting over top. You just have to keep him in the pocket. And this should be hopefully a game for that. See how the edge rusher doesn't go upfield? Keep him in the pocket. This guy cannot let Caleb get upfield, because too deep is asking you to take off and run. But if your defensive line is disciplined, and we've had to deal with this, and everybody's doing what these guys are doing, don't go upfield, and he's forced to stand in, they love these under concepts, these little whip routes. He's going to try to throw this to something that's just not open. And if it's 3rd and 9, you can run 2-man coverage, and it's going to be difficult for them to find great answers. But if you do like what we saw here for the Packers, and you go cover 1, and then all of a sudden you don't have an underneath defender, and even if he doesn't like his first concept, right, they run the hitch and then the corner outside of it, little smash there. Even if he doesn't like the smash concept, on the backside, versus a blitz, they run a pick play. So the pick play, bam, right here, and it's easy for Caleb to say, don't like the concept, find the pick play route, bam. So for me, I don't know that blitzing is the best strategy. I mean, if you're getting home, keep doing it. I don't have an issue with it. I just think if I'm blitzing, I'm really blitzing, or I think in a lot of those spots, I'm not. I think in a lot of those spots, I'm like, hey, too deep, let's clog things up, let's take things away. I think in this game that we're probably going to see him be more aggressive on first down. And Scott Glenn usually does it. I would just say be cautious of, if you're playing 1 deep safety on first, be cautious to play some match coverage, take away the corners, right? Don't give this team those spacing routes where they could just kind of settle in an easy concept. Take away the corners, either match it or play 2 deep and give yourself a chance. Play cover 4 and be aggressive with it. Do something like that. Don't just sit into a spot drop in cover 3 and give him the corner route. Like, you don't want to just give him chunk plays on first down and second down concepts just because you're trying to stop the run. It's not a great rushing attack, and that's to me the key. Like when I look at this one, keep it simple. You have to be able to stop the run against this team. Whoever runs the ball better might just win this football game. It might be as simple as that. And here's the weird thing. Chicago actually has a very positive, I believe it's very positive, turnover differential. And yet when you look at them as a team, they're losing games. You know what I mean? So they're coming along. We've seen the last few weeks. This is not a bad team. It's not a lack of talent, especially on the defensive side. And I think offensively right now, they figured it out. They are playing fast because they're simplifying it. They're not overthinking it. They're not having him like, I don't know if I want to throw this. He overthinks it sometimes on his own. He'll get man coverage and have a guy and just kind of like, I don't know if I want to throw it. And it's like, what's going on? That's fine. That's why they're inconsistent against man coverage. He may overthink some things on his own, but you want to get him into overthinking mode, not play action. Oh, that guy's cleared out. That's easy. Like, you don't want him in that mode. You want him either overthinking or having to make contested plays left and right. And I think that's going to be the Lions' challenge in this game, is how they go about that exactly. But I'll tell you what, man. Easy. Is it easy? Yeah, easy. Sorry, easy had a dip. So we're gonna kind of wrap this thing. Let's shut down the Bears. Thank you for the analysis. I appreciate you. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. But Broski, facts. No, shout to Broski. Happy Thanksgiving. My goodness, I can't read. It's happy birthday. Happy Thanksgiving. Look forward to seeing what you have to say about tomorrow's game. I'm fired up, man. I really want to see E-Man play. I want to see him play too, especially if if we're playing man in a lot of the spots, I want to see E-Man go to work. I hope he gets to play. I hope he rotates in. I hope he's just healthy enough to tackle, because that's the other thing with all these wide zone runs is, or not wide zone, but all these wide runs, your slot is constantly in the mix. So Meek, I know, will hit, but whoever is out there at corner is also going to be thrown into the mix. So I want him to just be aggressive enough to step down and go make a play. I think that in the trenches on both sides, I'm pretty confident, but I think that the Bears also know that, and they're going to be like, all right, so what's the response? Instead of just getting beat up front and be like, that's how we're going to lose this game, like, what's the response? And offensively, probably a lot of creativity to run, probably a lot of outside rushing in this game. That'd be my assumption, is they're gonna stress the heck out of a sideline to sideline. They're probably going to want to make that how they play. And then offensively, we know how they're going to pass the football in this game, but it'll probably be a lot of extensions of the run. And then on the flip side of things, because of the fact that they may not be great up front in this game, which, I should take that away. Yeah, because in this game, our offensive line, I like what we have. I think they like what they have up front too. But because I think we will be able to run the football in this game, for the Lions passing attack, I think they may lean a little bit more heavily cover 3 than typically the cover 4, and they may be a little more aggressive to that. I don't think they'll blitz a ton. They're just not that team, but they do keep everything in front, and they do make you throw those weird window shots where they kind of funnel everything back in, just like Tampa did, which gave us big problems. So we have to find a way, whether that's delayed routes, whether that's someone just simply winning one-on-one on the outside. Like, you have to find a way to find a guy that's going to go win. And I think in this game, we're going to see a lot of heavy personnel from this Lion offense. I think we're going to see some fullback usage. I think they're going to go very heavy, kind of like I put at the bottom. And we got to force them to match personnel. You know what I mean? Because they're going to simulate pressure, and they have a top third down defense because they're really good at doing that. But heavy personnel, I think, could be kind of a Lions, like, this is how we'll simplify things for ourselves in this game. I think it's going to be a heck of a game. Chat, as we're wrapping this up, man, let's get your score predictions in the chat. Roll them in. This is a weird one, man, because, where the Lions at for this game, which is, I think, the Lions minus 9.5 now. 47 is the over-under. 47 feels high, especially when you see, like, some of the scores that Chicago has had recently against other teams without, like, some crazy, like, fumbles and stuff. They probably wouldn't be anywhere near that. I mean, the Packers game was 20-19, right? I mean, it should have been more, but it wasn't much points. And I do respect this defense, man. I mean, I think we'll be able to run the ball, though. I think that'll be the difference in this one. And the Bears feel like they have a lot more big playmaking ability than they did with Fields, because it's not a vertical shot. It's they have concepts that are actually going to hit windows, rather than Fields where it's like he might take off and run for 80 yards. I think they have much more of a big play ability. So I'd probably still roll the over, to be honest with you. 27-12. Ooh, 4 field goals? Dang, you do them like that? 4 field goals? That's the other thing, too, is that their red zone defense, I didn't show all the plays I have, but their red zone defense, man, a lot of 2 deep. I think you'll be able to run in those spots. They run red 2, which is red zone cover 2. They'll run cover 4 in those spots. I mean, but against Green Bay, they did run a cover 3, and they gave up a touchdown up the seam. So it's tough because I think there's going to be turnovers on both sides, which honestly could lead to quicker points. I'll say both teams probably turn the ball over once at least. I think that'll be the thing I'd stick to. 31-20, Lions by 11, Lions by 4. I see you, Ken. So who's our left tackle? I would assume it's Dan Skipper. I would assume it's Dan. That's such a big loss, man. It's such a big loss. But Dan will handle business. You know what I mean? I believe in Dan. They're missing big man Andrew Billings. They're missing their big man, and it's without Andrew Billings, they've kind of like, who is dude's name? I have him on my notes. Let me see. Number 93. What's dude's name? Maybe I don't have him on my notes. I might have just lied. I think I just lied to people. I don't have him on my notes. Where's his name at? All right, I don't remember what dude's name is. I'm gonna be honest with you. But number 93 has kind of like stepped into that role. He's actually played pretty well, and Javon Dexter's a really good interior defensive lineman. But you can find ways to get them to match up that you like. So the Lions may be able to beat them up front. I think they'll be able to get to their backers. They'll find more success running than typically. So I think there's gonna be a solid amount of points because I think both teams will probably turn the ball over in this game. I like the Lions. I like the Lions at. What do I want to? I'm gonna go Lions put up. Zach Pickens. Pickens has rotated in a little bit, but over the last few weeks, we've seen Williams get in there. Pickens plays a little bit at 3, and I'm a big Zach Pickens guy. Shout out to Zach. I loved him out of South Carolina. But hold up. This is gonna drive me insane. This is gonna drive me insane. Who is number 93? That guy's the guy that's been stepping in. He's actually played pretty well for that team. I think they haven't been able to find consistency because Williams and Pickens, from what I've seen, those guys typically play together. When one's on the field, the other one's on the field. But it's Byron Cowart. Byron Cowart's been the guy that stepped into that role. And Byron Cowart has actually played pretty well. I think they're just kind of average on the interior. But where I think that they're relatively strong is defensive end. I don't think they're great there, but I think that DeMarcus Walker is a legitimate, like, he can shut down the run. Like, that's a real player in the interior or on the edge. Like, he's one of those guys that could beat up your tight ends a little bit. He can create some pressure. He's kind of the guy that I put him in here. I put him on here. Players to watch: Gervon Dexter and Walker at defensive end. Dexter will play one technique on the weak side of the formation. So you could have an opportunity to run towards the strong side or the weak side, whichever front that you want to go with. But I like getting wide on this team. They're going to lag their blocks. I think you're going to get to the back. I think you can find success. I think Lions are going to score in this game. I'm going to go. I'll go 24. I'll go 24 for the Lions. Man, this is tough. I'll go 24-17. You know, that feels too basic. I'm going to go 27. Did we kick that many field goals? I always start with the field goals. That's what gets me. Walker's a dog, Joseph. Yeah, I know you know. Hey, Walker's a dog, man. That dude's a dog. Joseph, you a Lions fan or you a Bears fan? Because you obviously know, man. I mean, Walker's a dog, man. And I think J-Mo will have a big play in this game. But I'm going to stay low. I'll go 24 Lions. I'll go Bears. I'm going to go Bears 17. I'll go 24-17. I want to say 24-13. But I'll go 24-17. I'll give them a little bit more love. Maybe I'm doing too much. I'm going to give them a little more love. So I'll go 24-17, which puts them at 41 points for this game. I guess that is the under. Dang. That is the under. Bears front four good. It's okay. I think it's average. But I think where it really shines is their ability to get pressure. They're pretty well rounded. Like, they don't have guys that can't get pressure. They're pretty well rounded up front. And especially when Darrell Taylor steps in. You're a Lions fan? Okay, Joseph. Appreciate you being here, Joseph. Darrell Taylor step in, do some things. They're a solid front. They don't have like a game record. To me, Sweat hasn't been the same guy this year as a pressure piece. He's been fine. I don't think he's been a great pressure piece. I think Walker's the guy you focus on. Big 95. Keep an eye on him, man. I think he's the guy. But I don't think it's a great front four. And I think you see that by their hit and miss success against the run by getting to their backers. But they will cause some disruption. Like, it's not terrible, but it's not good. I think it feels average. It feels very average when you watch them, maybe even a little bit below average at times when you watch them. And I think a lot of their run support comes from their defensive backs hit like trucks. You know what I mean? Kyler Gordon hits like a truck. Same thing with their safety play. Jonathan Owens has been ridiculous ever since he stepped in against the run. Like, these guys smack people. Who is not playing for tomorrow, Lions? So, yeah, no Carlton and no Decker tomorrow. And then Saint and Monty are both questionable. So, no Carlton, no Decker. Skipper will step in. And I expect Vildor/Mosley to rock the other outside cornerback position opposite of Terrion. Yeah, shout out to Antonio. That's what I would expect in this one. These are the big things, though, pass the football, man. Pull the seam because they're aggressive. We showed the flats. They're going to funnel everything back inside the numbers. Behind the backside, you can get behind the backside corner for a shot play. Maybe that's a double move. Maybe that's a flea flicker. Flea flicker might work well. Or maybe it's a leak to a tight, like something that can cross the entire field. Absolutely. And then middle field. Make these linebackers step down because they will bracket in the middle field and make it tough to kind of hit some of those over routes. They're going to bracket that thing, and they got some playmakers there. Like I said, when they get you backed up, they get a little bit more diverse in their scheme, and you can see it by kind of their coverage looks there. But I like our matchup with Jalen Johnson. I think he struggles a little bit to stick with guys, so Saint or J-Mo, because I think we're going to go a lot of heavy personnel. So the numbers are strong. He just doesn't look fantastic. So, that's kind of where I'm at with that one. And the power run scheme and the stretch runs I do like against this team. And then to kind of recap on the opposite side of the ball, man, like, we've seen it. We see we see how they like to attack within the passing game. The run game is going to be a key. That right side of the offensive line is pretty darn solid with Pryor now in there. You got to beat up Pryor at point of attack. You got to win in the interior. We got to dominate the interior to take stress off the edge position. And this is a game where Aleem and Reader, building off the last game, need to go eat. Reader full participation. He popped up on Wednesday. He had no participation with illness, but now it looks like he's good to go. I feel like J-Mo's prime big day. I think so too, Joseph. I'm with you. I don't want to say like he has like 100 yards or something, but I think this is a game where it's like he's going to be stressed to be like someone's got to go win, because he showed us last week he was capable, and I think that you can definitely beat Jalen in one of those spots. Now, Jalen's physical, and Jalen's one of those guys where the ball comes out late, he'll make a play on the football. So timing's everything. We saw last week, Jalen Jones broke up a pass. I think there's a lot of similarities between the Colts and the Bears. Jalen Jones broke up a pass on a late throw. Jalen Johnson will do the exact same thing. But in terms of just sticking with guys, when you give them that real vertical push on a single high safety, I think that's where Jameson kind of comes to life, and he's like, I'm that dude. Like, it's my time to be the guy on the outside. So I think there's a lot of things that are going to carry over and actually work well, and actually going to work well for us versus what we saw last week. So I think we actually had a great opportunity to get kind of primed for what we're going to have to deal with this week in some ways, and some of the guys are actually going to have to step up and win in this one. But I'll go 24-17. I kind of like that. Physical corner, absolutely physical. I mean, they got all their corners are going to hit. Tyreek Stevenson, I don't think he deals with speed that well either. And you know, it might be the opposite with heavy personnel, right? It might be the opposite matchup. I would look for Laporta to line out wide in this game. Probably get some matchups there, right? Slants. He'll be the spot kind of guy in zone. Tim Patrick, I think, could also be successful if you run some mesh concepts, because mesh can work against this team, especially if you have like an over route behind it. We saw with Gibbs, a couple weeks ago, like on the fast motion, like you can mesh some things underneath and allow Patrick to create some run after catch opportunities because they will bail out and take those over routes. You just have to give them something to absolutely respect into that first level. And honestly, a lot of this depends on how does Dan Skipper do. Like, is he getting cooked or is he doing okay? And the Lions may be limited in terms of being able to overload this zone without Skipper, because they'll have to keep somebody else in there. Terrell Smith has been taking his snaps. Well, I guess it depends on which game you look at, because I think Minnesota, Terrell Smith was playing. Terrell Smith had now Minnesota was last week, right? Yeah. Was that last week? He had an interception against Green Bay, but I think it was Minnesota that he was playing. I think it was last week. And Terrell Smith, again, another big body, physical corner. Like Terrell Smith coming out, he's a big press guy, will get physical with guys. So I think there's similarities there in terms of the ways but it's also kind of who they are, right? They're not a team that they're a team that wants to keep everything in front. So they want to come up and hit you. They want to get on their toes. They want to drive on the football. They want to funnel everything back inside. They want to collapse everything on top of you. That's kind of who they are. So if you can get something over top of them, you have an opportunity. The door is going to be open because they're not going to blitz you often. You're going to have a chance that if you give yourself enough time, and you're going to have a chance to get over top of these guys at some point in this game, and that could be the game-breaking play, and it may only take one to be the difference in this one, truly. But yeah, Terrell Smith has been taking some snaps, man. He's a good player. Terrell Smith's a good player. I remember when he got drafted, like, he might be better than Tyreek Stevenson, to be honest. I mean, both same draft class, but yeah, man, I think we hit on everything there. Like, I think we hit on everything. I had more clips, but we can honestly save some of those for tomorrow if we want to do a preview show. I'm going to leave it there, man. I appreciate y'all joining. Pre-game, or No. Lions, what am I talking about? Lions, Bears tomorrow on Thanksgiving, man. Tune in. We're going to be live over here for our watch party to talk about and react to that game. And we're 10-1, man. And we got to keep winning, because right after our game, you know what I'm saying? We got Packers, Dolphins. Let's go Dolphins. You know, hey, I fired up. Dolphins about to handle business. Dolphins are about to shock the world. I believe it. Chicago struggles with speed. All depends on Skipper. Hey, Skipper, go ball out, my guy. Go ball out. You know what I mean? Skipper, go do some work. I appreciate you. I shot the head with the 199 piece. I see you. Hey, Skipper, go to work, man. I mean, look. Like I said, I'm worried about some of the stretch stuff if you run towards him, but if you run away from him, I'm more confident. A little bit worried if you run towards him, because I know that he'll let guys. But even if you run the stretch, at least you're getting wide enough where he's going to open up more cutback lanes, and I think we'll be able to handle cutback lanes. So I think he'll be okay in the running. I think he'll be okay. But the pass protection is a big concern, because I don't think they're elite there, but they may just say, forget it, we're putting Sweat over there. Sweat, go to work on Skipper. And then you're going to be forced, and the Lions will probably be forced to leave a tight end a lot in this game. And if you're in heavy personnel, you should be able to help yourself out of play action anyway. But they're probably going to be forced to leave a tight end and chip and then release, rather than immediately release scat protection, because of what they're dealing with Skipper. So they'll probably be struggling to overload a little bit, which is why certain guys are just going to have to go find a way to win on the outside. That's where I'm at with it. I appreciate you, Joseph. Hey, shout out to Joseph, man. The previews, my favorite videos to make, but they take forever. Oh my gosh. That's why I couldn't do one this week. It's like, I don't have enough time, man. They take me like 3 days to put those together. So I was like, I'm just going to go live. That's why we're here. Thank you, Colleen, for joining. The Lions are a very physical team. This is facts. Chat, man, y'all think Monty's going to cook tomorrow? Go Lions. The king is back. The herd is scared. Ooh, that was tough. It feels so good winning, because I remember the times we started. And I was like, I don't want to talk about the draft. I want to talk about how we're going to make the playoffs. And it was like, hold up. What scenario? You know what I mean? If we win and they lose, bro, the percentage stuff was crazy. Like it was like the New York Times thing where you would like pick 6, like it would have the games left. And you're like, all right, if we win, they lose. Yo, I don't miss that at all. My goodness, you're right. Hey, what am I thankful for? I'm thankful for not having to use New York Times anymore to project whether or not the Lions have a path to the playoffs. That's what I'm thankful for. You know what I mean? Shout out to Thanksgiving. That's what I'm thankful for. My goodness. Roundtable just popped up. Happy Thanksgiving. Roundtable just popped up. Oh, the episode? Okay, so they just posted that. It's kind of a short version of what I say here, but it works. I think it's a Gibbs game, in my opinion. I think Gibbs, Joseph, I'm completely with you, man. I like getting on the perimeter against this team. I love the stretch runs. I think, and you should zoom back to the beginning because we kind of show some plays on this. I think Gibbs is like becoming that dude, and I think we're seeing that transition of like Gibbs is so well rounded at this point. He's becoming a real problem. His pacing. Gives the problem. So yeah, let's just keep that rolling. Let's keep that rolling. I'm with it, man. Gibbs looks outstanding. I think Gibbs is on his way, man. Gibbs is on his way to being like that problem that teams are just gonna have to deal with. Like I think there's a lot more room for him to grow. He was not a finished product when we drafted him. He's not a finished product to this point, but he's getting there. And I think Scotty Montgomery's helping him a ton because this dude looks so much more polished than what he did a year ago. This guy is getting there, man. He's a problem. And I would say also, Zadarius Smith on the inside, watch for that, man. Watch for that guy to go win. I like their tackle play and pass pro. Look for him to win on the inside. And I think without Carlton, we may see a lot more two deep on some earlier downs. So keep an eye on that. Laporta could have a really good game in this game, man. He could be a really good matchup piece for us. He could be a very good matchup piece. And typically against Chicago, we like to get it to Laporta. He could be a very good matchup piece for us in this game. Just keep an eye on the Bears. Like, if they're going to sit cover 3 all game, which I would if I were the Bears, if they look at it and they get out of that, because we beat them last year, they got out of it, they started playing too deep, and we marched on the field, scored a touchdown. Are they going to stay in those cover 3 looks? I think that's where they had the most success. The question is, can the Lions get them out of it? But honestly, you kind of want to force them into it because then that should open up the pass game. But it's honestly been kind of an issue for us because they take away the middle of the field. I'm thankful for not having war at my doorstep, but feel bad for those that live with it. 100%, Ken. All right. We're going to end this thing, man. I appreciate you joining, and I will see you guys tomorrow for the game. We out. Have a great night. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there, and I'll see y'all.